everybody. Welcome back to the Escape Pod. Thank you so much for escaping with us. That's Andrew, and I'm Alex.
And as always, with great power comes great 100 ability. Woo! We made it.
This is the 100th episode of the Escape Pod podcast. We are ecstatic.
We're ecstatic.
We are enthused.
Triple digits, baby.
It's pretty exciting. It's a pretty exciting milestone.
We've done it for 100 weeks straight. We have not missed a week.
That's not true. We missed 1 week last year.
Why?
Between the Straw Hat Goofy episode and then the Monica episode, between episodes 10 and 11, we took a break. It's still on our community tab. We said to our beloved Escape Pod community, we're going to miss this week. MegaCon.
There was like a lot. There were like 2 or 3 reasons at once.
Yeah.
Oh, we took a week off. I thought we had a perfect record.
No.
Dang it.
99-1 is not a bad record.
It's not a bad record, but I thought we had it. And we've also done 83 Patreon episodes now.
Correct, yeah. Something like that. We're definitely in the 80s.
Yeah.
So we're coming in on our 200th episode.
Tomorrow will be 83
total.
as of filming this, yeah.
Yeah.
So, let's go through some stuff. We got some stuff prepped for this episode.
Yes, so obviously it's the 100th episode, so we're doing some very special things.
Yep.
Everybody, for the entire time of this podcast, is always asking us for lists.
Do lists.
Top 10 lists. This list and that list and this list and that list.
You're getting some
So
lists.
we've done a bunch of lists on the Patreon, like we did our favorite Star Wars projects, etc., etc. This is a list episode. So to be frank, if you don't like lists, you are in
Click
trouble.
away. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. So very anticipated. Do you want to spoil what lists we're doing so far? Or today?
Sure. Let's go ahead and
We're
talk.
doing 5 lists.
Well, okay. Well, first of all, we're doing 10 lists of 10. So we're listing 100 things.
Correct.
Okay, so that was the plan.
Yeah.
And 5 we are doing together, and
Correct.
5 we don't know what the other person is doing.
Correct.
So the 5 nerdy like movie ones that we know that we're doing together are as
Yes.
follows. You want me to tell them?
Yeah.
Okay, so top 10 Pixar.
Yep.
Top 10 Disney.
Yep.
Top 10 Marvel projects.
Correct.
Top 10 movies of all time.
Yep.
And what was the last one?
Star Wars sounds.
Star Wars sounds, because we just talked about that on a bracket.
Correct. And there was a
couple
big point of contention. People were saying I was underrating the lightsaber sound and this and that, and it was a big argument. So I thought, oh, that's the second week in a row. So I thought, yeah, let's do that as well.
And then we'll have 5 brackets.
That neither of us know what we're
the other
ranking.
person- yeah.
Yes, correct.
Cool. And then on top of that, it is Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yes, exactly.
So one of our top 10s will be Christmas related. We
Correct.
don't know what the other person is doing. It'll be
Correct.
Christmas related. And because it's Christmas, everyone, we wanted to give you something. Now, a couple weeks ago or whatever, we gave away a few, like 5, 10 of the Patreons.
Yes.
You've helped us out a lot. You helped us get to 100 patrons. Or no, I'm sorry, 100 episodes. And we love y'all, and we want y'all to be part of the community. People who aren't yet a part of the Patreon family, we are welcoming you in. We are giving away 100 memberships to the Patreon.
In honor of episode 100.
In honor of episode of 100. So that link will be maybe above my head or in the description. There's a couple things. We also have a December discount that's like 20% off. That link is in the description. And also the ability to gift, kind of like on Twitch, if people on Twitch, like you can gift subs, gift memberships, you can do that on Patreon now. So that link will also be in the description. So if you want to get to Patreon for someone else in the community or a friend or something like that, you can do that through Patreon now. So 100 will be there. I might make it like a little trivia challenge. Maybe you'll have to find something or whatever. You know, maybe my brain will do that. But there are 100 available. So first come, first serve.
Yes.
There you go.
So
100.
make sure.
Oh, also,
because we're going to continue to do crazy giveaways like that. Make sure you have your notification bell on. You're subscribed on YouTube.
And follow us on Instagram and get in the Discord. We do stuff there all the time.
Absolutely.
Also, because of this, if they're all redeemed, we will hit the 1,000 goal. That does not count. I say, if we are still over 1,000 after the month is up, so maybe February 1st, if we're still at over 1,000, then we will do the 1,000 goal of boxing and kissing.
Correct.
But us artificially inflating the numbers and getting over 1,000 does not count.
Correct.
Okay. So go
Glad
have
you
fun.
clarified that.
You got 83 episodes to watch. Go. Let's rank some stuff.
Let's rank some stuff. What would you like to start with?
Let's start with Marvel.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're ranking our top 10 MCU projects. Would you like to go first or shall I?
Sure. You want me to do all mine?
Yeah.
Great.
Start at number 10, please.
So this is projects.
Give a brief explanation as to why everything is ranked. How
Sure,
it's
I
ranked.
will do that.
Yes.
Okay. So this is my list of top 10 Marvel Cinematic Universe projects.
Correct.
The honorable mention here is actually going to be Age of Ultron. It would be at my 10 spot if not for one of these. So it just got bumped out. I think it's a little underrated.
Yeah.
It's a little overhated. It's not perfect, but it's still an Avengers movie, and it's a lot of fun. James Spader's Ultron's great. All right, so at the 10th spot is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Wow.
I think it deserves to be in the top 3.
Top 10.
Sorry, top 10. Guardians 3 deserves to be in the top 10. I think Rocket's backstory and the emotionalness there and the fight scene at the end, you get everything you need in a Guardians movie, the comedy, everything. I think it's really good. Just not as good necessarily as the original. You can make that argument, but I do have the original somewhere else on this list. Number 9, I have Avengers Endgame.
Wow.
We are lower on Endgame on this podcast than most just because it's a little bit of a mess and whatever, but it's still Endgame. You know, you got to give it its flowers.
Absolutely.
The last 40 minutes are insane, and it is the culmination, and you get 3 hours of craziness. So it deserves to be in the top 10. What is also in the top 10 at my number 8 spot is Iron Man.
Wow.
Started the MCU, and I think it deserves its spot. It's a solid origin story. You get RDJ as Iron Man for the first time, and I love it. I love it. You get the cheeseburgers. You get the fight with Warmonger at the end. You get to introduce Ironmonger. Thank you. Phil Coulson's in there. Perfect origin, and it started off the MCU at number
7.
Sorry, this is swapped a little bit. At number 7, this might upset you a little bit. I do have Civil War.
That's fine.
It's in the top 10.
It's in the top 10.
It's just not going to be, it's not the tippity top.
For you.
For me, personally. Okay, after that. No. So I did this on Letterboxd.
Okay.
And you're noticing that it's only movies so far.
Yes.
The only thing that deserves to be in the top 10 to me is X-Men 97. That is not a movie. So I'm going to put that next. It could be before Civil War, could be after. It just deserves to be.
But you've got X-Men 97 at number 6.
At number 6, X-Men 97, yes. Breathtaking, animation, characters, I Can't Feel You, Mon Ami, friggin' love all of it. No other MCU TV show, in my mind, deserves to be top 10. I don't like them. I like movies better. Okay, top 5 of the MCU, here we go, and here's where the other Guardians is. Guardians 1 is at my 5 spot. Maybe because everyone went in with low expectations, but no, because it stood the test of time. You know, I had no idea what to expect when I watched this movie, and it's just a lot of fun. This seems like the MCU, what it should be. Number 4, I have No Way Home.
Yeah.
Okay? People have turned their backs on this movie. They are wrong.
We refuse.
We refuse your stupidity. No Way Home. No Way Home is great. At number 3, I've decided to put Infinity War.
Wow. Yeah.
I know.
Okay. I see where we're going here. Okay, I get where we're going.
I love Infinity War. I memorized every single line of the entire movie.
Yeah.
Okay? I know Infinity War like the back of my hand. It's an Avengers movie. It's exactly what it needed to be. My jaw dropping at the end of that movie as I walked out the theater and everyone was silent.
Yep.
Thank you, the MCU, for giving us something like that. But I did just rewatch Winter Soldier, and it's got to be number 2. It's just so good. I love everything about it, man. It's just, I knew I liked it.
Yeah.
I knew it was always in my top 5. But
Yeah.
when I rewatched it, the whole time I was just like, I can't believe how good this is.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be good, and rewatching it, it just reminded me why it's number 2. And number 1, my favorite movie of all time. You're all wrong if you say this is an overrated movie or that it doesn't stand the test of time. You're just wrong. It's the Avengers. It's the first Avengers movie. It's a perfect movie. It just really is. Everything flows. The villain is perfect. It's the first time we've ever gotten a movie like this where all the superheroes were coming together. It's funny. It gives us action. It gives us all these characters the way they're meant to be. It gives us a Hulk, which we haven't gotten since then, basically. And yeah, I love it. So the Avengers is my number 1. That's my top 10.
Nice top 10. All right, I've got a couple questions.
Sure, hit me.
To respond to your top 10. For starters, Avengers 1 for you is a 10 out of 10. Perfect score. Is Winter Soldier a 10 out of 10? Is Infinity War a 10 out of 10?
So this is interesting that you bring this up because I was going through some of my Letterboxd stuff.
Yeah.
And I was looking at highly rated things so I could do my favorite movies of all time, and I could do this. And it was a lot easier for me to start giving out a few of those 5 out of 5s because I had sat with some of these movies
Absolutely,
longer,
yeah.
Right? So Winter Soldier was one of those. I think I had it at a 9. I think I had Infinity War at a 9. No Way Home at like a 9 or an 8. So Infinity War, I'm not sure. Probably. I'd probably give Infinity War, but I would give Winter Soldier that as well. But it is fun being able to like see the things that I gave like an 8 or 9 and be like, okay, I'm comfortable giving that a 10 now.
My follow-up question is, you have at the 10th spot Guardians 3, which you gave a 9 out of 10. So is everything in this top 10 list a 9 out of 10 or better for you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, in game you could make the argument that it's structurally not a 9 out of 10, but just because of what it is, personally I'd give it that. But yeah, Guardians, Civil War, Iron Man, No Way Home, all should be 9 or above.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so Infinity War, you're iffy on giving a 10, but then No Way Home would probably be the first 9 out of 10 on this list?
I'd probably give that a 9.
Yeah.
Or a 9.5.
Yeah.
And then,
That's fair. Just want to gauge where you're at, because obviously you are very gatekeepy with your 10s, so I wanted to see.
There was legitimately like 2 or 3 movies that on Letterboxd while I was doing this I saw, and I was like, no, that deserves a 5 now.
Nice.
So that was interesting. Yeah.
Very nice.
You want to
go? Yeah, I could go.
I'm very interested.
Yeah, I don't have honorable mentions. You had Ultron. I think my honorable mentions would actually be 2 movies that are in your list, which is Guardians 3, Avengers Endgame. But my number 1 honorable mention, which would be the 11th spot, and I regretted that it missed this top 10, is WandaVision.
Wow.
Yes, WandaVision is my 11th place on this top 10
I
MCU
thought that was
projects
for sure
list.
going to be in there.
No, yeah. Number 10, I've got Loki season 1. I really like Loki season 1. I'm going to grade these by season. I'm not going to count Loki the whole show because it would not be on the top 10. But Loki season 1 really impressed me. I think it's got 1 bad episode. Otherwise, I think it's spectacular. 9, I've got Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Okay.
Here's the thing with Guardians of the Galaxy. When I first saw this movie in 2014, this would probably be number 2, maybe number 3 on this list. And for me, a lot of the movies that have replaced it came out later, for sure. But also, I've said this before, and I'll say this again, I feel it's the least rewatchable of the great MCU projects. The jokes just hit less and less and less for me every time I watch it, which is not the case for some of the movies higher on this list. Let's go number 8. Your most hated movie in the MCU, we've got Thor Ragnarok. I think Thor Ragnarok is a blast. I think it's hilarious. It's one of the only MCU movies that isn't gray. It's wildly colorful. It is so fun. I think Jeff Goldblum is a standout. I love the Tom Hiddleston, Chris Hemsworth, Thor, Loki relationship.
Then you like Dark World, right?
No, because Dark World is not even gray, it's black. Thor Ragnarok impressed me when it came out, and it continues to impress me. You have not bewitched me with your voodoo magic to tell me that movie is a bad movie, because I think it's a great movie.
I'll keep trying.
At number 7, your second most hated MCU movie, we've got Spider-Man Homecoming.
Gross.
Every day I think about this movie, it gets better and better and better.
No.
The jokes hit better. It is one of the funniest movies of all time. I will say till the day I die that when Spider-Man Homecoming came out, it was the best Spider-Man movie we'd ever gotten.
No.
Number 6. I've got your number 2, Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
A little low.
I think Winter Soldier is great. I think it's a 9 out of 10. I have very little problems with Winter Soldier. But at the end of the day, all of the movies above Winter Soldier, all of the projects I have above Winter Soldier have like a wow factor that Winter Soldier is just incredible, but doesn't have the wow factor of some of these other movies I have ahead of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Number 5, I've got your favorite movie of all time. I've got The Avengers. I am with you. Anybody that downplays The Avengers is completely ridiculous. I saw that movie 4 times in theaters. When it came out, it may have been my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
I love The Avengers with all my heart. I'll never forget the feeling I got in the opening scene where Stellan Skarsgård says, minor levels of gamma radiation and nothing harmful. And Nick Fury goes, that can be harmful. I was like, they get it.
Yeah.
They got it.
Yep.
They did it. And the rest of the movie, they knocked out of the park. Those of you that believe that movie is aged poorly, or is it a great superhero movie?
People call it a TV show movie? No.
Or is it a top 10 superhero movie of all time? I think you're wrong. I really do believe that it belongs in that conversation.
That's one of the reasons this podcast still works.
Yeah.
We disagree a lot, but if you hated that movie, it would be tough.
It's preposterous.
It'd be tough for me.
But at number 4 is another movie that gets too much hate. It's Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yep.
Anybody that believes that Spider-Man No Way Home has aged poorly or is just nostalgia bait or whatever you think, you're wrong. is the best live-action Spider-Man movie we'll probably ever get. It is spectacular. They knocked it out of the park. In my opinion, you take Tobey and Andrew out of the movie, it's still the best live-action Spider-Man movie of all time. I think it's that good. I think it's that tight. And I've said this once, I'll say this a million times. I believe Spider-Man No Way Home is the most rewatchable movie in the MCU. Every time I rewatch it, the jokes still hit, the action still hits, everything still hits about it. I think it'd be a perfect 10 out of 10 for me if it wasn't so ugly. Number 3, I've got Captain America Civil War. Like you mentioned, you're a tad lower on it than me, but I'm a tad lower on Winter Soldier than you. It's fair, we just flip-flopped our Captain America movies.
No problem.
Civil War just has that wow factor that I was missing from Winter Soldier. And even though obviously it's my 3rd spot and my 2nd favorite movie of all time in the MCU, I think you could certainly make the argument that Captain America Civil War is the best movie in the MCU. It's just not my favorite. The way it is written, it is gray, but I think that movie should be accurately gray. I need it to be a little more colorful, but otherwise, it's so well written. The genius of having Iron Man as the main character since 2008. For 8 years, he's the main character of the MCU. To make him the antagonist 8 years in was brilliant. Now, obviously, RDJ is coming back as Doctor Doom, so now it's a much less novel concept.
Apparently, Chris Evans is too.
But yeah, what are you going to do? But at the time, Civil War blew me away, and it continues to blow me away. It's probably the best MCU movie, but I slightly prefer Avengers Infinity War at my 2 spot. Infinity War is just the event. I think it's clearly better than every other Avengers movie. Avengers Endgame, it's clearly better than. Infinity War is just so tight. It's unbelievable having that many characters in that movie and it working that well.
Yep.
It's really a miracle. And it was so hard to do that the Russos literally had to kill half of the universe to make the sequel work.
Yeah.
Because there's no way you could juggle that many characters for another movie. Cap gets, shafted a little bit in that movie, but otherwise everybody gets a moment to shine. It's really, really spectacular. Infinity War is a great movie. And Thanos being the main character of that movie, 10 years in, it's just unbelievable how well they pulled that off. Infinity War is a marvel, and in my opinion, the best MCU movie we have ever gotten. And at number 1 spot, this is an MCU projects ranking, I have X-Men 97 Season 1. X-Men 97 Season 1 floored me. It blew me away. You guys all saw our reactions episode per episode per episode because we talked about it on this podcast because we couldn't stop talking about it. X-Men 97, blew me away. And that's my number 1 MCU project of all time. There you go.
Okay, my questions.
Yeah.
You mentioned No Way Home is not a 10 out of 10 because it's a little gray.
Yeah.
Is it a 9? 9.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Every project on here above my 10 spot, which is Loki Season 1, I have as an 8 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Everything else is a 9 out of 10.
Gotcha. Why do you have Loki and all these things above WandaVision?
I only have... I love WandaVision, and watching it week to week was a beautiful experience and something that I cherish forever. And it's probably my favorite experience watching the MCU. It's either the WandaVision era or the No Way Home era. But WandaVision has serious problems, and I kind of watch WandaVision with rose-tinted goggles because the time of it coming out was so special for me and everybody else watching the show that I discount these moments that hurt it. There's nothing in any of these movies or shows that I have in my top 10 that's worse than Ralph Boner. That's worse than the final battle just being a CGI fuckfest, which is fine, and I like it because I like that she outsmarts her, but it still doesn't really fit with the rest of the show. I don't like any of the stuff that's happening outside of the Hex. Episode 4 is one of my least favorite episodes of MCU television because you had this amazing mystery of what's going on in the Hex, and in episode 4 you just find out everything. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, yeah.
I want you to go through your top 10, not including the animated.
Yeah.
And I just want you to say gray, not gray on all of them.
Sure. Loki Season 1 is not gray, but it's brown. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is not gray.
Not gray.
Thor Ragnarok is not gray. Spider-Man Homecoming is gray. Captain America the Winter Soldier is gray, but that's fine. The reason Winter Soldier is a 9 out of 10 has nothing to do with the grayness. It has to do with the Peggy Carter scene is one of my least favorite scenes in the entire MCU.
Where she's old?
Yeah, I hate it. I think it's gross. I just can't do it. It grosses me out.
Why?
He's like, you're my best girl. And she's 90. I'm ugh. I really wish they didn't include that scene. That scene and that, yeah. And then I kind of think some of the jokes don't work in Winter Soldier. Like, was I your, you know, like it's just the tone of the movie is very consistent. And then you just have scenes where she's just like, was I your first kiss since 1945? It to me, those jokes don't fit.
Wow, I could not disagree more about both of those points.
Well, you're just not grossed out by the Peggy Carter thing. I just like, it grosses me out. I don't like it. Steve, I'm like, ugh. I couldn't leave my best girl. I'm like, ugh, get this off my screen. And the deep fake looks bad. The CGI of her
also disagree.
Looks bad. But so yes, Winter Soldier is gray, but it's not to the detriment of the movie. I think that's a plus because that movie should be gray. The Avengers is gray, unfortunately. It's less gray than these movies, but it is gray. Spider-Man No Way Home is the grayest movie on this list. Civil War is gray, but I don't think it's a detriment to the movie, even though I wish it was a tad more colorful. When Spider-Man shows up, he shouldn't be as gray as he is. And then Infinity War is pretty gray, especially the New York scenes. The Guardians scenes aren't that gray. The scene in Nowhere with Thanos, some of the Thanos scenes aren't gray. But everything on Titan is dull, and everything in New York is really gray. The X-Men 97 is certainly not gray. It's my biggest problem with the MCU consistently, is that their movies are ugly.
And movies, period.
Well, because the MCU is the biggest blockbuster franchise of all time, yes, it's a copycat world. People are copying
Fight Club
them.
is gray?
Fight Club is not gray. I get what you're saying. It's a darker movie, but it's like it's shot like that for a reason. It's very similar to the Batman. The Batman is not gray. It is dark, but it's not gray.
Is the Dark Knight gray?
Yeah. But that's okay for that movie.
Is there any amount of movies that you watch that could make you think that you're just watching movies with gray tinted glasses?
It's a funny line. But no, because there are movies every year that aren't gray.
Mm-hmm. Movies are different. This is true. Do you want to do... okay, well, a couple things. We forgot to talk about these. I wanted to talk about these.
Yep.
These were given to us by, if audio listeners, we're wearing Letterman jackets with Escape Pod podcast.
It's got our names on them. It's got the logo on the back for both of us.
Cassidy Weathers, we've talked about her on the podcast before. She's a patron. She gave us the neon sign as well on the set.
Yes.
She is extremely supportive and very kind. We met her at NostalgiaCon.
Yes.
And
she brought us these.
She brought us these. She also brought us a bunch of pins that we'll try and give away, like Escape Pod, like keychains and pins and stuff.
Yes.
So that's why we're wearing this for the 100th episode. Also, NostalgiaCon was fun.
NostalgiaCon was fun.
Did panels, did trivia. You watched a Rams game in the hotel room.
I did. It was an incredible game.
You got called.
I did. There was a noise complaint during the middle of the day. You were upset with me. You walked in and I was screaming, and you were like, Alex.
Well, a old lady, as I was coming into the room, came out of her room and like stared at me.
Yeah, guess what? It's 4:00 in the afternoon. Get a grip.
Okay. Yeah, so that was fun. And Cassidy, thank you for these. Okay, next list, right? We're done with Marvel?
Yeah.
Do you want to kind of go back and forth, do one that we do together, and then do one...
that we don't know?
Yeah.
No.
No, you want to do all the ones that we know and then all the ones that we don't?
I think so.
Okay, which you pick next?
Let's go top 10 Disney.
Oh, also, we're going to try and make this episode a little bit longer. We're going to try and go for 100 minutes. So that's an hour 40. So
correct.
Everyone buckle up.
Yeah.
This hair is getting on my nerves. What are we doing?
I say top 10 Disney movies.
Top 10 Disney.
Mind you, we are doing top 10 Pixar, so
correct.
do not include Pixar in the list.
You want to go
Did you do non-animated?
Yeah, but no non-animated tops it. What's the only thing? Pirates?
Pirates would be my number one, but I don't count it.
Yeah, Pirates would be in my top 10. I did not include
Cool. So this is Disney animated movies?
Yeah.
Great. So these are our top 10 favorite Disney animated movies. Starting off at number 10, I have Tangled. I like Tangled.
Nice.
I like Tangled quite a bit. The thing that makes it number 10 and some of these movies ahead of it on this list is the music doesn't hit for me. I like When Will My Life Begin? I don't love the At Last I See the Lights song as much as everybody else does. I love that moment. I don't love the song.
You don't like Mother Knows Best?
Not really.
Wow, that's crazy. You don't like the Snuggling Duckling song?
Definitely not.
Really? I like all of those.
Yeah. Wait for this helicopter to pass?
No, it's fine.
Okay. And number 9, funnily enough, a movie with very little music is Zootopia. But I think the Zootopia story is really, really good. Zootopia I really, really like. I like the two characters. I like Judy Hopps. I like Nick Wilde.
I like Judy Hopps too.
And Andrew. And biggest thing I like about Zootopia is the comedy. That movie consistently makes me laugh. Flash the Sloth is one of the funniest Disney concepts I've ever seen in any Disney Pixar
Did you do the motion
anything
capture?
ever. I didn't do the motion capture for it, but I could have.
They wouldn't have had to animate quite a lot.
You're right.
The Shakira song in there is good though.
I do, yeah.
Try everything.
Yeah,
It's fun. Okay.
It's a fun one.
Yep.
And she's a gazelle, and she's got hips. They gave the gazelle thick as fuck.
Gazelle is thick, yeah.
At number 8, I have one of your least favorite movies of all time. I have Moana.
It's not one of my least favorite movies of all time.
Moana,
That's crazy though.
Moana is on here and so high on here for 2 reasons. I love the characters. Every single character works for me in it. I love Moana. I love Maui. I love her tribe. I love Tamora Morrison as the chief. I love everybody in this movie, okay? That's a big part of it, okay? Second thing I love about Moana, every single song hits for me.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've been overly critical of the song Shiny. I love the song Shiny. I think it's a top 100 Disney song. I love How Far I'll Go. I love all that. Every single song in this movie hits except for You're Welcome, and even You're Welcome is hard and fun.
So you like Shiny more than You're Welcome.
Not even close. Shiny is a top 3 song for me in this movie, and You're Welcome is my least favorite.
Okay.
Dwayne Johnson cannot sing, unfortunately.
Yeah, please continue.
Yeah, Moana's got to be on here, and I'm happy with this placement. At number 7, I've got Hercules, okay?
Yeah.
Big part of Hercules is I like the concept. I think it's fun. I think that the muses are great, and all the songs they sing.
They got hips too.
Oh, yes, they do. Zero to Hero, like all the, like...
Can't Help Fall. No.
A Star is Born.
I Won't Say I'm in Love.
Well, I was going through the Muses songs first. Those songs are incredible, but Won't Say I'm in Love is a top 20 Disney song for me.
Wow. And
Go the Distance is probably top 5. I love Go the Distance with all my heart, even though you have this weird idea.
I like the covers of it.
The covers are better, which is just horrendous. Go the Distance is incredible, and the simplicity of his voice in it, it's just incredible. Go the Distance is a big reason why this is so high on this list. Number 6,
of people love that one.
I've got Aladdin.
Yeah.
I love Aladdin. I think it's hilarious. Robin Williams is incredible. I think everything in Aladdin works, and the songs are great. I don't need too much explaining here. Jafar's a great villain. Yeah. Aladdin's a great protagonist. Jasmine is not this damsel in distress. She does shit. She's the man. Love.
You are being...
She is the woman.
You were being like a feminist ally for a second, and then you were like, she's the man.
Yeah, my bad.
You couldn't help the misogynistic tendencies came out.
I
Anyways.
know. Terrible. At number 5, I've got Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Beauty and the Beast is a really great movie. And a lot of the music is really, really great.
The songs in that hit, right?
Every single song is good. My favorite is there's something there that wasn't there before. But Belle, the opening is great. Gaston is obviously a hit. Beauty and the Beast, all those songs, every single song in Beauty and the Beast hits, except for probably Human Again. That could have been cut. And the story is great. It's just not as high as some of these because I guess I just love all these ahead of it more. That's all. No disrespect to Beauty and the Beast. Mm-hmm. At number 4, I have The Princess and the Frog.
Oh, yeah.
The Princess and the Frog's only problem is that the music could be better. They blow their load way too early. The 2 best songs are the second and third song, and they play back to back, which is Friends on the Other Side and Almost There. Play back to back, Almost There, into Friends on the Other Side. Those 2 songs are incredible, especially Almost There. I think Almost There is maybe my favorite. This is my princess motivation song. Like, that is my favorite one. But otherwise, like, the music is pretty. I don't like Dig a Little Deeper. I don't like the opening song. I don't like a lot of the songs on the Flies Great. Song, Evangeline. That song's awful. But everything about the story and the plot and everything in Princess and the Frog, I think is profound.
Tiana's the man.
Tiana is my second favorite Disney princess ever. I love her with all my heart. I love the concept of she's just like, I gotta work hard. And then it's this prince who doesn't have to work hard at all. And then they, through the love of being frogs, learned that, well, it's okay for the hard worker to have fun every once in a while. And it's okay that you have fun a lot, but you need to work hard. What a beautiful story
It's so good.
for kids. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to show my kids Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the all-time best Disney movies, and that's why I've got it at number 4. At number 3 is my favorite Disney princess movie. I've got Mulan.
Mulan. Wow.
I love Mulan with all my heart.
Okay.
Mulan has everything that I just said for every single movie previous. I adore the characters. I love Mulan so much. She is such a fucking hero. She knows her father can't fight in the war. She knows he's going to die immediately. And she takes a stand and dresses like Ping the guy to fight in this war to save her father's life. It's so profound.
Mulan is the man.
Mulan is the man,
Literally,
literally.
in this case.
The music in Mulan, I think they are all hits. There's only 4 songs, but they're all bangers. Make a Man Out of You is my favorite Disney song. And I love so much that they are singing about the girls back home, because that's all they're thinking about. And they come upon this destroyed village where all these people were probably terribly and brutally murdered. And from the rest of the movie on, there's no more music. They do not sing anymore because it's not that kind of movie anymore. That is such a brilliant writing choice. Things like that. Reflection is one of the most tragic Disney princess songs. One of my favorites as well. I like it a little bit less than Almost There, but it might be second place. So not only do the songs hit, but that writing choice to make it not a musical after that, because it's not that kind of movie anymore. What a brilliant writing decision. Those kind of decisions is why Mulan is my 3rd favorite animated Disney movie of all time. Number 2, I have The Lion King.
Yep.
Every song is incredible.
Yep.
It's Hamlet, but maybe done better. It's incredible. Scar is one of the best Disney villains of all time. What? Yeah, I know. Scar is one of the best Disney villains of all time. Simba is probably one of the best, if not the best, Disney protagonist of all time.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
Timon and Pumbaa are probably, without question, the best comedic relief Disney characters of all time. Everything about Lion King checks a box. Checks a box, checks a box, checks a box. One of the best, without question, one of the best animated movies of all time.
Yes.
And there's no question in my mind that The Lion King is a better movie than my number 1 spot. But my number 1 spot is Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch, baby. Yep.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite animated Disney movie. It's probably my top 5 favorite animated movies of all time. Maybe top 6. I love Lilo and Stitch with all my heart. I think it's one of the funniest Disney movies of all time. Stitch, I think, is a brilliant protagonist. I think a lesson for kids. Not to say it's a bad movie, because it's definitely not. It's not some guilty pleasure. The Ohana means family, the ugly duckling, everything that you like it teaches kids. The messaging of Lilo and Stitch is all A+. Lilo and Stitch is hilarious. And at the end of the day, it's one of my favorite movies to put on for like a comfort movie. Mm-hmm. It's one of the most fun movies I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. And that will always get you the vote for my top number 1 favorite Disney movie of all time. There you go.
Yeah, I think a lot of people love Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, is there anything I strongly disagree with?
You don't love Moana nearly
no,
as
Moana,
much as
but I understand. I'm in the minority there. That doesn't really bother me that much.
You didn't love the Tangled Zootopia placement at 10 and 9. Why was that?
No. Tangled's great.
Yeah.
Zootopia's a little high. I think I just watched it and I just was not impressed. But I do want to watch it again. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I think it's better than Moana. And there's some good stuff in there. I just remember being like, okay, about it. So it's definitely not my top 10. But no, Tangled's not a bad pick.
Yeah,
would not fault you there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think the rest were pretty good.
I know that you love the Hercules at 7, Aladdin at 6, Beauty and the Beast at 5, Princess and the Frog at 4, Mulan at 3, Lion King at 2, Lilo and Stitch at 1. You don't have any problems with that.
No.
Yeah, I knew
again, Mulan's not going to be that high for me, but
Yeah.
like Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, all deserve it. You know what I mean? Okay, you gotta hook up with 3 of the main characters in your top 10. Which movies are you picking? Obviously not Lilo and Stitch.
Mulan is number 1.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Over Tiana, over...
Tiana's probably 2.
Okay. You taking Hercules? I'll let you have Meg.
Well, if I can have the other, I would go Nani from Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, no, can't do that. Never mind.
Okay. I have a clear answer here, but I can't say it.
Why not?
It's a Spider-Man, Spider-Verse Gwen
Tangled?
situation. No, she's 18, to my knowledge.
Yeah, and you know how old Flynn Rider is?
How old?
He's like 26 or something. And for the most of that movie, she's 17.
Yeah, that's iffy. That's not great. I don't like that.
No one ever talks about that. Okay.
I'm pretty sure
Moana?
Moana's underage, but she would absolutely be my number 3 if she's not underage. Damn it, I just did what you did.
Yeah, you're going to get canceled on Twitter.
I just it's like she's the chief of her tribe.
Yeah.
She's beautiful. I respect her so much. She's
You went
a
ethnic
hero.
on all 3. You got Mulan.
Well, I don't have many white girls on here anyway.
Yeah, just Rapunzel.
I'm definitely not taking Belle over any of those 3.
Whoa. Pump the hate brakes on Belle.
Belle means beauty? Yeah. Say that to Tiana. Tiana is bad.
Yeah, you don't have to pick Belle. I'm just saying don't be disrespectful to Belle.
I'm taking Mulan and Tiana way over.
Don't say way.
Over Belle.
Belle's intelligent.
Will you give me Jasmine?
Again, you're going to have a problem. She's 14.
No way.
She's underage. Like, yeah.
Damn. Okay,
all
so
the Disney princesses are like, whenever people do F, Marry, Kill with the Disney princesses, it's
iffy.
We're just assuming all of these people are.
These people are all 26.
Yeah. But no, those aren't bad picks. How old's Mulan? How old's Mulan?
Mulan's fighting in a war.
She's 16.
Damn. All of these are the sequel versions where they're 26.
Correct,
Yeah.
Oh wait.
Don't tell me Tiana. Tiana's got to be like 26.
It's around 19.
Fuck.
It was a bad question. Okay. My turn?
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with my honorable mention. I'm going to give it to The Princess and the Frog. I did highly consider putting that at my top 10.
This is your top 10 Disney movies.
Yes, this is my top 10 Disney movies ranked. My honorable mention is Princess and the Frog.
Fair, yeah.
Tiana's probably my favorite princess, tied with Belle.
Yeah.
I love her. I love her story. I love the hard work. I love everything about it. It probably deserves to be in here. But my 9 and 10 have reasons.
Okay.
So my 10, I put a Goofy movie.
Yeah.
This is ranked very low on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think that is not
Wrong.
I think that is not deserved.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a few songs, but there's 2 songs that are bangers.
Yep.
Obviously, Stand Out and Eye to Eye
Yep.
are
Eye to Eye is an all-time Disney song.
all time.
Yep.
I love it, and the story with Goofy, and it stars a classic. With no other Disney movie stars that's in our top 10 stars Mickey or Donald or anything like that. So it's cool to have one starring actual Goofy. I did just interview Goofy and Max from the movie, so maybe I'm a little biased, but no, I've always loved that movie. So not my favorite, but deserves to be in the top 10. Interesting pick here for my number 9.
Yeah.
Shout out all my Oliver and Company lovers.
Wow.
That's also ranked pretty low. So this list, I always try to make list a combination of best and favorite. I'm letting favorite lean a little bit more on these lists because that's what they're supposed to be.
Of course.
Growing up, I always loved Oliver and Company. I love dogs. I love Dodger. I love, the song. It's one of my favorite Disney songs. Why Should I Worry? Mm-hmm. And it's voiced by Billy Joel, who is my favorite musical artist potentially of all time. So having him as the main character, and then I just always thought Dodger was cool. I loved it. I do need to watch it again, but I decided to put it in my top 10. Sorry, Princess and the Frog. Number 8, probably should be higher, I'm going to be honest, is Tarzan.
Wow.
I love Tarzan.
Yeah.
Love everything about Tarzan.
Mm-hmm.
If we're talking about music, banger after banger.
Best Disney soundtrack.
Phil Collins cooked out of his mind.
For
no reason.
Yep.
And that's another one that it was probably my favorite growing up.
Yep.
I mean, I just loved Tarzan so much. And the TV show with Tarzan was also great. So yeah, it definitely deserves to be in the top 10. Number 7, everyone loves this movie, Big Hero 6. Not your top 10?
No.
Crazy. Baymax is cute and
I haven't
funny.
seen it since 2014.
You need to watch it again.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. It's one of those movies that is adult enough that it'll make you cry and think, both with the thing with his brother and with the end with this, you know what I'm talking about? And then the supporting cast is 5 friends that come to him and help him. It's just a very adult movie, but also just cute and funny with Baymax. And the song by not 21 Pilots. What the frick is that song? You can be immortal. Immortal's great.
Is that Radioactive Imagine Dragons?
No.
Okay, never mind.
It's one of my...
Is it Fall Out Boy?
It might be. That's what I might be thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was 7. Number 6 is Aladdin. Yeah, same thing you said.
We have same place, 6.
Yeah, Robin Williams knocked it out of the park.
Yep.
Jasmine's great.
Yep.
Aladdin's great.
Yep.
You kind of notice some of these. Aladdin and Tarzan were high for me as kids because I loved parkour and like people who could like jump around and be active and do flips and stuff, and Tarzan and Aladdin were doing freaking parkour.
One Jump Ahead was like
literally my whole personality when I was 6. Like I played that all the time, and I would just like jump off my couch. That's all I did.
Sick.
5 is Beauty and the Beast. Favorite princess movie for sure. Music's great. Yeah, we're cooking.
Number 5 and number 6, same.
We're cooking. It's always been one of my favorite Disney movies because I think it's beautiful. I think the songs, when they're slow, work so well in that moment where they're learning to love each other, and I think the message and everything. Gaston is a great villain. His song is great. Lumiere, Be Our Guest. Come on. It's just, mwah. You watch it, it's beautiful. Number 4, most underrated Disney movie of all time, potentially, Treasure Planet.
Knew that was coming.
Every single time I watch this movie, I have to question the world and why it didn't do better. The one song in there is great, and then comedic relief with Ben the robot and Morph, and also as a kid, I loved that guy's arm. I wanted that arm, dude. I was like, I'll cut my arm off if I can get that freaking thing. He's got flamethrowers and a gun. Yeah, it's great. Love Treasure Planet. Go watch it if you haven't. Number 3 is going to be Lion King. Again, like you said, probably the best movie on the list, just not my favorite.
Yep.
I don't really have anything else to add that you didn't say. It's just like a perfect
It's
movie.
Lion King.
It's Lion King.
It's Lion King for a reason. Everybody knows Lion King.
Yeah.
If somebody says, well, Lion King isn't one of the best animated movies of all time, it's a hot take.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, it should always be in that conversation. Number 2 for me is Lilo and Stitch.
Wow. What the fuck is one? Continue.
You know what it is. Lilo and Stitch is the movie. It's the movie from my childhood. It's the movie for now. Stitch is just an icon. You can just tell from all the merch that you see at Disney.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone loves Stitch for a reason. They really did something special with that movie, and that's another one that is adult enough where Lilo struggling with what she's struggling with, and how Stitch helped her and how she helped Stitch, and then the conversation at the end where Stitch is like, do I have to get on the ship? Can Stitch say goodbye? Stitch found it all by himself. Oh my gosh. It's so good. It's so good. And the song in there is great. Hawaiian Roller Coaster is a banger. Number 1 is...
No clue.
My 3rd favorite movie of all time.
Oh,
Emperor's New Groove, baby.
I knew this.
Emperor's New Groove, baby.
I forgot.
In the conversation with Treasure Planet, the most underrated movie of all time. It's a little more recognized than Treasure Planet, so you can, whatever, but it is potentially the funniest movie of all time. I'm sorry. Like, I think everything in it works. I think it's great. And just the story behind it, like how it was not going to be made, it was going to be a completely different story, then they kind of just improv'd it. And like...
Because of McDonald's.
Because of the
McDonald's toys.
They had to hit the quota.
Your 3rd favorite movie of all time. McDonald's is responsible.
Correct, yes. And how they just like had no idea what they were doing, but they Disney archive people came to the director, was like, okay, we need a script for the archives. And he was like, we don't have one. Like, I'll get you what I can. But which goes to show maybe you don't need $500 million to make every single movie. Maybe you should just like take away some of the red tape and let people be creative and just make something funny. Kronk is an icon. Cusco is an icon. Yzma's a great villain. I love Pacha. Pull the Lever, Kronk. 3rd favorite movie of all time.
When Treasure Planet was 4, I couldn't believe how low it was.
I know, right?
And then it was Lion King, Lilo and Stitch, Emperor's New Groove, and I was like, oh, yeah, that is Andrew.
Yeah.
But Treasure Planet's probably in your top 15 favorite animated movies of all time.
Yeah.
So that goes to show that top 4 is up there for you.
Yeah.
Those are some of your favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, Lilo and Stitch and Emperor's New Groove for sure.
Here we go. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked you in the previous list. How many of these are 10 out of 10s for you? Emperor's New Groove.
Emperor's New Groove, Lilo and Stitch, Lion King. Easy.
Is Treasure Planet a 10 out of 10?
Yeah. I might give that to it.
Is Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin 10 out of 10s, or are those your first 9s?
Those after that will probably be 9s
nice.
or 9.5s.
Nice.
Yeah. Big Hero 6 is great, but I don't know if it's special enough to me to put it as a 10 out of 10.
Mind you, there's no 10 on my list.
Really? Yeah. Lion King's not a 10 out of 10?
It's close. It's probably like a 9.5. Lilo and Stitch is like a 8.59. Mulan is a 8 or 9. Princess and the Frog is an 8 or 9. Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Hercules, Moana, Zootopia, and Tangled, they're all 8s.
It's a little low for Beauty and the Beast,
Maybe.
I think. But, yeah. I mean, Lilo and Stitch. Yeah, if I'm not giving Lilo and Stitch a 5 out of 5, I don't know what I'm doing.
No, good for you.
Yeah.
I love that movie, man. Good take. What do you want to move on to next? We just did Disney. Do you want to bang out Pixar?
We can do Pixar.
All right.
I'll start with Pixar.
Please. I have no idea where you're going to go. I feel like we've done Pixar to death on this podcast, but like, I think I only know like your one spot, your two spot, and that's it. I feel like you have much more of an understanding of what I'm going to rank.
Yeah, maybe. To be honest, I made this list a while ago, and I just didn't touch it. So
Yeah.
I might need to swap some things around, but
All
this
right.
is just what my Pixar list has been since I made this on
Letterboxd. 2 years
Letterboxd.
ago.
Yeah. I added Inside Out 2 in there.
Wow.
But it's not my top 10.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Here's my Pixar top 10.
Yeah.
At number 10, coming in last on the list, but still top 10, is Inside Out.
1.
1.
Okay.
I do like it better than the second, but you can 100% make the argument. It's probably one of those things where I just pick the original to pick the original, but the second one is still really great. The moment at the end where sadness and joy come together and press the button together, and she breathes as she's hugging her parents is one of the best Pixar moments ever. And then the core memory comes out and it's blue and yellow. It's one of the most brilliant writing things I think has ever been done. WALL-E's number 9. Shout out my WALL-E lovers and shout out WALL-E haters. Get a life. No, I'm just kidding. I think it's great. I think this was in the run of where Pixar was in its bag.
Clicking.
Yeah. Very cute. Eve's great. Number 8 is Ratatouille. Ratatouille and WALL-E have always been kind of equal to me. So I don't know why I put one over the other. I do want to watch these again. It's been years and years.
I would love to do that.
But Ratatouille is creative and has inspired so many. Anyone can cook, like Chris said. Great movie. I have Cars next. The
Nice.
first Cars. I think it's classic. You know, Lightning McQueen. It introduced Mater. Mater was such like an icon for so long,
Yeah.
especially to kids.
Yeah.
I think they did really, really good with that. Toy Story 3 is going to be number 6.
That's horrendous.
You think that's way too low?
Way too low.
That's fair, but also not. The only thing I could swap it with one thing, and you'll see why.
Continue. Yeah.
But Toy Story 3, the heist, the ending with the claw, the ending where Woody's on his shoulder and Bonnie. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
It's great. Number 5, I have Finding Nemo.
Horrendous. Continue.
It's not horrendous. It's not.
I just can't believe this list so far. You
This
were
is-
cooking. Like
this is
everything
fun-
you were cooking. and
Finding Nemo's in my top 5. You can't get mad at that.
You've completely derailed the list.
You can't get mad at that. So I'll let you talk about Finding Nemo when it's your turn. The reason this might be wrong is because I have Toy Story next.
Wrong.
I think you underrate the original Toy Story a little bit too much.
Sure.
The introduction of Buzz thinking he's a toy,
Yep.
Pizza Planet, the aliens, you are a toy. It being the first Pixar movie, I think it deserves its flowers. Maybe not much. Maybe I should swap it with Toy Story 3 and put it at 6 and Toy Story 3 at 4. I think maybe you'd like my list a little bit better than that. But this is my top 3, and I am happy with this top 3. Again, one of these could maybe be swapped with Finding Nemo, but this top 3 is good. 3 is Monsters, Inc.
Okay.
I don't know what your problem with Monsters, Inc. is.
It's on my list, but it's not that high.
Monsters, Inc. is great. Monsters, Inc.
It's not that great. It's not better than Toy Story 3 and Nemo.
I think in some ways correct, but in some ways it's better. I think Monsters, Inc. is definitely funnier than both of those.
Crazy.
I think it's definitely funnier.
It's actually the least funny of the 3 you just named.
No.
You haven't seen Nemo or Toy Story 3 in a while.
You haven't seen Monsters, Inc. in a while.
I have. I saw it last year. Toy Story 3 has the biggest laugh in the entire Pixar universe.
What? Spanish Buzz?
Spanish Buzz is also hilarious.
Spanish Buzz is funny.
How about Mr. Potato Head when he's a sausage?
Oh, that is really
That
funny.
is hilarious. And how about this is the hardest laugh in the entire Pixar universe. They're playing with Bonnie. Oh my gosh, Woody, you're amazing. the Shakespeare guy. Were you classically trained? Hilarious.
That's not the funniest joke in all of Pixar, but
Okay.
it is funny. No, and Boo is adorable, and the door at the end when he puts it back in.
Yeah, it's
opens
really
the
good.
Kitty.
It's really good.
Again, a lot of these are interchangeable. Ratatouille, WALL-E's interchangeable. From Monsters Inc. to Toy Story 3 could mix around.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Finding Nemo. I love Finding Nemo. Again, no disrespect to Toy Story 3. Could swap it with Toy Story. I just put it up there because it's the classic. Number 2, as it should be, is Up. Up is hilarious. Up is heartfelt. It's one of the best animated movies of all time. It just is. Sorry. You can act like it's only good for 10 minutes, but you're wrong. If I made a list of the top 10 greatest things about Up, maybe one or two would be in the first 10 minutes, and the rest would be the rest of the movie. It was a classic immediately when it came out for a reason. Squirrel, Stuff I'm Gonna Do, him pinning the thing on the kid at the end, all of that is throughout the movie. Doug is throughout the movie. Alpha the dog is throughout Kevin is throughout the movie. All of that is creative, classic, beautiful, funny. It's great. Up is a great movie. And number one, as it should be, is The Incredibles. It's definitely the best Pixar movie. Jack, the family. Incredibles 2 is great. It's not my top 10. But The Incredibles is probably the second most watched movie of my entire life. I watched it constantly as a kid. That and The Avengers. So.
Okay. How many of those are 10 out of 10s? Incredibles, I'm sure.
It depends. I could go all the way to Toy Story 3 with that, maybe.
Wow. So your top 6 would all be 10 out of 10s?
Maybe. I mean, Cars, Ratatouille, WALL-E, Inside Out, I would not.
Yeah.
The others are question mark.
Close.
Yeah.
They're all 9.5 or above.
Yeah.
Okay. I really think you're overrating the first Toy Story.
I might be. And I
it's
think
not even on my list.
I think you're underrating Monsters, Inc.
Monsters, Inc. is on my list. Monsters, Inc. is pretty high. It's not as high as you have it. It's not top 3, but...
Monsters, Inc.'s amazing. I love Monsters, Inc. 2319, baby.
You're going to be upset with my list.
Yeah, I'm freaking
I'm like very sure you're going to be upset with my list. There are 3 movies on my list that aren't even on your list.
Yeah, well, you're an idiot. We've established this.
Okay. And number 10, I have the Pixar movie from last year. I've got Elemental. No.
I'm just kidding. Elemental's good, but it's
Elemental's good. I understand your of it, but I was thinking about it. And I was thinking about this 10th spot. And what would I do with this 10th spot? And I was thinking about Soul, movie from 2020 I really enjoyed. I was thinking about, some of the more fun catalog of Pixar. I was thinking about maybe Incredibles 2. I was thinking about some maybe Toy Story 2, maybe Toy Story 1. I was thinking about that. And every time I looked at that Elemental cover, and I'm reminded of the ending with the bow with the family, and I'm reminded about how it's one of the best representations of a true immigrant story I've seen in media in the last 20 years. And I thought, you know what? Elemental gets this fucking nod from me. It's going to be my number 10 on my list for Pixar. So Elemental's number 10.
Sure.
Number 9, I have a movie that you have on your list. I've got Cars.
Okay.
I like Cars quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fun. I think the story of this hotshot asshole learning how to be less of an asshole is great. I think
Life is a highway.
that song is incredible. The animation is really spectacular for what it is. I mean, it's cars with faces. There's so many iconic moments from it, but the ending is what stands out to me. Him not winning the race.
Dude, Pixar was in its bag for a while, man.
It's profound. It's profound.
Gosh.
It's really, really great. And I just can't stress it enough. It's really great. Number 8 is Ratatouille. I love Ratatouille. Mm-hmm. Anyone can cook, like you said.
Star
like
in
Chris
it.
said.
So.
I star in it, and I like the vibe of Ratatouille. The vibe of Ratatouille is a really great vibe. I remember very vividly the first time I saw that movie in 2007, whenever it came out, when I was young as fuck, crying uncontrollably at the critic being transported to his childhood, where his mom would make him a meal to make him feel better after he broke his bike or something and got hurt. When I was 7, that was the saddest scene I had ever seen in my life.
Also, what mom is making Ratatouille as a comfort meal?
I don't know, but his mom.
You know what I mean?
That's why he's a food critic.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The food critic scenes in that movie are all-time stuff. The writing for him is incredible. He's like, Chef Cousteau has become like his cousin Boyardee. That is incredible. And then what is the life of the critic? At the end, that speech, really, really spectacular stuff. Number 7 is WALL-E.
Okay.
The first 30 minutes of WALL-E, I think, are spectacular. It's kind of an up situation where the rest of the movie isn't as good as the start. But Wall-E just kind of wandering this barren wasteland of a planet is beautiful. It's really spectacular. And I think the plot of it is really good. I think it's really interesting that all these humans are just in space, wandering. They are completely out of shape. They don't do anything. And I think that Hal, is it? Otto. Hal is...
Yeah.
2001.
Based on.
Yeah. Otto is a really cool villain, really interesting. I just think it's a lot of fun. I really like Wall-E. Wall-E, for its originality, is higher than Ratatouille and Cars and Elemental. Not saying those movies aren't original, but Wall-E is just outlandishly original. At 6, I have Monsters, Inc. Monsters, Inc., one of the funniest movies on this list. It's hysterical. I mean, they knocked it out of the park with the humor. And
that thing back where it came from, Marcel helped me. Bomb,
hilarious.
Bomb.
Randall is a terrifying villain.
Yeah.
Randall is a great villain. Boo, everything, their relationship is beautiful. At the end, Kitty, that's when he puts the thing in the door.
Pixar.
It's beautiful. I mean,
Pixar moments.
We've been saying this whole list, Pixar was in their bag at that time. Pixar was in their bag with Monsters, Inc. There's no question about it. I just strongly disagree because in my opinion, you have it over masterpieces. And I don't feel that Monsters, Inc. is a masterpiece that way. Number 5 is also not a masterpiece, but it's a very fun movie. I've got Cars 2.
To put Cars 2 above Monsters, Inc., Wall-E, and Ratatouille is...
Cars 2 is a whale of a time, and if you grow up loving that movie, it's very easy to see why I love it. Are there flaws with it? Is it a little stupid that they're cars and they're spies and this and that? Sure. But like I've said a million times on this podcast, it's the perfect turn your brain off movie. And in the same way that I have Lilo and Stitch over The Lion King and Mulan and Beauty and the Beast, movies that are better than that in the Disney category, I can have Cars 2 over movies that are better than Cars 2 because Cars 2 is so much fun. It is so funny. It may be, in my opinion, the funniest movie on this list. But no. Cars 2 is hilarious and it's so fun. And yeah, I don't care that you hate it. I don't care that the world hates it. Cars 2 is a whale of a time. At number 4, I have a really tremendous movie that you don't have on your list, which is Coco.
Yeah, a lot of people will be mad that I don't have Soul or Coco, which were in my top 15, I think.
Coco is really spectacular to me. All the characters work. First of all, I love the music. Un Poco Loco is great. Remember Me, specifically the Miguel version that plays in the credits is just beautiful. I think Ernesto de la Cruz is the best of the Disney twist villains. When Disney started doing those twist villains, I mean, they still do them, Moana too. But of the twist villains, I think Ernesto de la Cruz is the strongest. He is truly one of the most evil Disney characters, Pixar characters of all time. Just so sinister. His motivations, what he does, sinister stuff, really dark stuff for a Pixar movie. And the moment at the end is one of the strongest Pixar moments of all time.
I was about to say, Coco does have a Pixar moment.
And in my opinion, so I cry every time at Coco singing the song with him. But I really cry at the end when it's the next year. And they put Mama Coco's picture on the mantle. And sorry, he gets to go and see everybody, his family, for his first time since passing over because they think he just ditched them. And this whole time he's wanted to be there with his family, and then you see all of them dancing together. It's really... So I cry every time at the singing, which is everybody's favorite Pixar moment, but that moment, the next year, is so profound. And you see Mama Coco there, and everybody is just one of, in my opinion, one of the strongest Pixar moments of all time. Well, I did not think I was going to cry there. It's just, I haven't seen that movie in a while, and
we should rewatch that. That's near the top of my list of movies I need to rewatch. I've seen it one
thinking back
time.
on Coco, it's definitely my number 4 spot. I love Coco with all my heart. I think that's
apparently it needs to be 1.
No, so this is what I was about to say. All right, no more crying. Okay, Coco is number 4. The gap between Coco and my number 3 spot is enormous. I cannot stress enough how big this gap is. The gap between Coco and number 3 is the gap I have between my favorite MCU project, X-Men 97, and Avengers Endgame, which I have at like 12 or 13. Okay? Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3, it's actually a miracle that this is the third best Pixar movie because, like you said, it is maybe the second best heist movie of all time, only second to maybe Ocean's 11, maybe I have Inception up there, but like it's the third best heist movie of all time to me. Toy Story 3 is the way to do a heist movie. By the way, it's probably the funniest movie on this list. By the way, it's got one of the most Pixar moments of all time, which is Andy finally saying goodbye to the toys and donating them to Bonnie, including Woody, who he was going to bring to college. The motivation, Woody, the lessons that Woody learns. The whole movie. And he's like, well, I'm going to college, Mr. College, big man on campus. And then they're like, the toys are at Sunnyside, and he knows he has to go save his friends for a lotto because he finds out, oh, yeah, Sunnyside Daycare, it's an allegory for the Holocaust. It's Auschwitz. Incredible writing. Incredible. That movie is spectacular. Spectacular. Toy Story 3, that's the third best Pixar movie. It's a miracle that's the third best Pixar movie. At number 2 is Finding Nemo. This is unquestionably one of the best animated movies of all time. When this movie came out, it was probably the best animated movie of all time. Finding Nemo has stood the test of time in a way that like I can't stress enough. In my opinion, Finding Nemo is probably the most underrated animated movie of all time because I believe it belongs in the top 5 conversation, and I see so many people not put it in that conversation. There's not a DreamWorks movie better than Finding Nemo. There's not. Finding Nemo deserves to be in the conversation with the 2 Spider-Verse movies, with the one movie I have ahead of it, which, spoiler alert, is the same movie you have as number 1. Like, Finding Nemo is just that great. The emotional beats are unbelievable. Telling this story of this father who has lost his son that will stop at nothing to get his son allows for so much of such a fun adventure throughout the ocean. You get the sharks, you get the jellyfish, you get the turtles, because you can do so many things with all these different species. But the emotional undertones, the weight of the situation is so tragic and so relatable. I can't imagine how much more this movie is going to mean to me when I'm a parent.
It's my dad's favorite.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Finding Nemo is a masterwork, and it is heinous for you to have it as low as you have it on your list.
I had it at like 4.
Yeah, too low. And at number 1, it is the best Pixar movie. It is The Incredibles. Yeah. The Incredibles is a pretty unbelievable achievement. It's unbelievable how funny it is. It's unbelievable how well written it is. And it came out in a time where superhero movies weren't as normal as they are now. Obviously, we get like 8 a year now, and then I think we got like 1 or 2 a year. But it's such a brilliant commentary on the superhero genre that they're illegal because they were, he saved the guy that sued him because he didn't want to be saved, and then the train and all the damages on that, and just that's a brilliant concept. Syndrome is an excellent villain, and at the end of the day, maybe I do think Finding Nemo and Toy Story 3 may have slightly more emotional moments, stronger emotional moments, but The Incredibles is just so much more fun to me.
Oh, dude.
It's so fun.
I had Finding Nemo at 5, sorry. But, yeah, The Incredibles is probably the earliest movie I remember seeing as a kid. I don't know how old I was. Yeah. I don't remember a lot. But, like, I remember coming out of that theater and being so hype as a kid. Like, I was, like, running around like Dash. I was, like, jumping over stuff. I was, like, acting the movie out. It was so good. And as a kid, obviously, it's insanely fun. But then, like, you get so much stuff as you're growing up. Like, the suicide thing at the start, I didn't fully understand.
Yeah.
The fact that Syndrome actually, like, killed all of these other superheroes. The marriage problems, and she's thinking he's cheating because she finds the hair. I didn't understand.
You don't get any of that as a kid.
But like as you grow up, and like just the general like legal stuff, like they're outlawed. Just like it's a fun movie as a kid, but then when you grow up, it's still so.
The healthcare scene,
yes,
is especially poignant now.
I mean, yeah, it was.
What about our shareholders, Bob?
Who's helping them out?
Huh?
Did I do
Bob
anything
Parr
illegal?
Is Luigi Mangione.
Law requires that I say no.
Yeah. So good. All that.
He got away. Good thing, too. You were this close to losing your... I'm sorry, ma'am. I know you're upset.
And yet, here we are. Yeah, that scene is incredible. That's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. I love the scene where he's in traffic.
I don't know. Something amazing, I guess.
And here we are. We've both talked about Incredibles being our favorite Pixar movie of all time. Both of us had it at number 1. And neither of us have mentioned even a lick of Edna Mode.
Oh my gosh.
One of the all-time best supporting characters, without question.
When she gets mad at her, my gosh, you are Elastigirl. Put yourself together. It's amazing.
She's incredible.
Edna Mode, end guest. Oh, you
Incredible.
make Auntie Edna so proud.
Oh, incredible.
That's from the ride. And the baby is gone. It's from Incredicoaster. Yeah. Wow. I'd forgotten you'd gotten fat.
No, she goes, oh my God, you've gotten fat.
The cape scene. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
iconic.
No, it
I
does.
used to design for gods with that shot. Shut up, Brad Bird.
You're the best. I know, darling. I know. Yeah, it deserves to be number.
I will patch the hobo suit. Original suit, Mr. Incredible, or new suit?
New
Red
suit.
Really?
Yeah,
I
mean
like
they're
the
both
classic
good,
blue.
but the matching red is
The matching red is good.
stylish. It's good,
Elastigirl, original suit. With the headband and the longer hair.
and it's higher boots. I think.
You better believe it's higher boots.
Yeah. Shouldn't you be getting ready? I still got time.
I on the scene with them flirting at the start.
Flexible.
I have a prior engagement.
Yeah, I didn't understand that as a kid
When
either.
I said I had a prior engagement, I thought I thought it was playful banter. I didn't realize you'd forgotten. It's hilarious.
It's good.
And all the superheroes there at the
If
wedding.
you wanted to do something nice for Dash, let him go out for sports. Let him actually compete.
It's incredible that
This is not about you.
And bowling night is the two husbands getting away from their wives, but they're lying to their wives. What an allegory that is for that. And they're reliving the glory
it was
days.
just a little workout. It was structurally unsound. Building was coming
coming
down
down.
anyway.
You knocked down a building? It is, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Without question, it is my
I will clink on that. I will
Third
not
favorite
necessarily clink
animated
the
movie.
The rest of your list is fine. Except, I mean, obviously you have an insane blind spot for Cars 2. And Up deserves to be in the top 10.
Up
but,
is in like the 12, 13 range.
okay, that's all right. Yeah, I definitely need to watch Coco again.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, respect on Elemental. I think that's a little high, but like whatever.
I'm telling you, I remember I was bawling my eyes out at this moment. And I just that's a Pixar moment. That is. And it's just.
But it's just not as strong as a Pixar moment as a myriad of others to me.
Sure. What do you want to do now? You want to do Star Wars sounds?
Sure.
All right. Oh, I'll start.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. These are my top 10 favorite Star Wars sounds. And keep in mind, if you're not a Star Wars fan, obviously you're not going to know what we're talking about.
We can do these quickly.
I don't have a soundbite, so we'll do this a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
At number 10, I have Jawaese, specifically OTD.
Yeah.
Like all that, the way they talk.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
that's
all
great.
that in the start of New Hope.
Great pick.
when they kidnap R2D2, love it. At number 9, very low, I have a red lightsaber igniting.
Okay.
That is just, it's got a heavier sound to it. I love it so much. At number 8, also a little low, I've got the TIE Fighter sound.
Wow.
Yeah, just the TIE Fighter coming back, coming through. Andor really shows how terrifying that can be. Force Awakens does a good job of showing how terrifying a TIE Fighter sound is. But it wasn't until later, I think, where the general public has acknowledged how iconic a TIE Fighter sound is. And I'm glad it's getting the flowers it deserves. But it's a little low here. At number 7, I have a little bit of a deep cut, but it is from the original trilogy. I have the Millennium Falcon is broken sound. Yes, every
great
time
pick.
they try to go to hyperspace
Great
and it's
pick.
broken, it's such a great sound
Yeah.
to show the audience this isn't working.
Yeah.
Nothing in real life makes a sound like that, but it's so great where it like sounds Star Wars-y, it sounds original trilogy-y, but it's like it clear to the audience exactly what's going on. So when he's like, they told me they fixed it, you get it.
It's not my fault.
You get it immediately.
It's not my fault.
Number 6, I have the Naboo pistols from Phantom Menace. They're the coolest sounding pistols in the Star Wars universe. They have this sound to them. I fucking love them. It's Padme's pistol.
Yeah.
I love them. At number 5 is one that may be on your list. I know that you love this sound. It's Boga, the Varactyl, which is Obi-Wan's lizard in Revenge of the Sith on Utapau, where he goes to fight General Grievous.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Sounds like it belongs on Pandora.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love Boga the Varactyl. I love that sound. I think many people that know that sound will agree with me. And number 4, one of my all-time favorite sounds. We're really getting to the nitty-gritty here. We've got Sebulba's Pod Racer.
Yeah.
So cool. Every time it turns, that's so sick. I love that. I love the design of Sebulba's Pod Racer. It's so much cooler than all the other pod racers, and it sounds cooler, rightfully so. Number 3, maybe kind of a snub. I have the Seismic Charge.
Really, at 3?
From the Slave
Thought that was going to
1.
be top 2 at least.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible in Attack of the Clones. It's incredible in The Mandalorian Season 2.
There's also a video game that I played on the GameCube, I think, where you could drop them yourselves.
Yep.
We freaking loved
You
doing
spammed
that.
those.
Oh, dude,
I know
it was
it.
so sick.
And number 2 and number 1, they're a little coinciding. At number 2, I've got Darth Vader's breathing.
Yeah.
It's just so iconic. It's so menacing. It's so ominous. It's incredible. It's the perfect sound to associate with that character. The design of Darth Vader is obviously menacing, and how tall he is, and the black and the red lightsaber. I think the breathing is the most menacing thing about him, and I love that so much. The only thing that beats it is something else about Darth Vader. Maybe you will say this doesn't count. This shouldn't count. I've got Darth Vader's voice. The James Earl Jones voice performance, may he rest in peace, with the added effects to the voice is spectacular. Every time you hear it in the original trilogy, the very little that you hear it in Revenge of the Sith, it is music to my ears every single time. They really, in the special editions, nailed that vocal quality, because it's not quite as good in the 1977 cut of that lower register that James Earl Jones has with the added effect. It's beautiful. And every single line that James Earl Jones says as Darth Vader in the original trilogy is just the best thing ever.
Yeah. It's a good list. Very good list.
Thank you.
Honorable mentions for me on Star Wars sounds. I think the probe droid is good.
Yep, absolutely.
That one's good. There was another one that I'm forgetting that I wanted to be an honorable mention. But at number 10, I have Jango's blasters.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
Attack
That's
of
a
the Clones.
great take.
Yeah. Thank you. I wanted a blaster in there, and I felt like I was good with him with his. Number 9, I have the Death Star powering up.
Interesting.
When they're
pulling the levers and pressing the buttons.
Yeah, and it's like a whoom sound.
Very similar to Godzilla.
What can I say? Yeah, I really like that one. Number 8, I have the Imperial Siren.
Woo!
Yeah.
Woo!
When they're all running
great
to get into their TIE fighters to go fight and stuff. Yeah, that one.
That's
was really
great.
Number 7, I have Poggle the Lesser. Love him. I can listen to him talk all day, dude. I don't know what he's saying, but it's freaking sick. I also had Pod Racers as a
honorable mention.
Yeah. Okay. From here on, they're all pretty iconic.
Yeah.
6, Chewbacca.
Solid. Yeah.
Yeah. Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong with the Wookiees. Yeah.
Just the amount of people who impersonate him on a daily basis. You know, he's got to be in there. Number 5, another character. Take a guess.
Jabba the Hutt.
No.
Oh, who?
R2.
Yeah. Nice.
Love R2's beeps and
woo!
His screams.
Yep.
Felt like he deserved the top 5. At 4, I have TIE Fighter.
Yeah.
At 3, I have Darth Vader's breathing.
Nice, yeah.
And then my top 2 are the obvious top 2. In my opinion, you've got to have Seismic Charge up there.
Yep.
It's just unmatched. And the number 1 best Star Wars sound of all time is a lightsaber igniting. I listened to like a montage of it, and it's just so dynamic, so good, and also just so iconic.
And so clearly a lightsaber. Like it is so that is the definition of a great sound.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's good. Good stuff.
Solid.
All right, last one before we get to our random ones
that we don't know about.
Is just our favorite movies ever.
Yeah.
Shall I go?
Please.
So, this is the top 10 list of my favorite movies ever.
Yep.
I tried to do a compilation or combination of things that, like, you know, I wanted a variety. Like, it's impossible to do a top 10. You want to combine what you think is best, but also what's your favorite, what you have memories with. So I tried to do a little, I wanted some live action, I wanted some animated, I wanted some comedy, I wanted some action. And this is what I came up with. But
Yep.
this could change in the next 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
At number 10, I decided to put the comedy that came into my mind and that I've loved since I was a kid. I love Jim Carrey. I put Liar Liar at my number 10.
Nice.
I wanted a solid, clear comedy in there. It also has a good message to it at the end. He's got to stop lying to his family, basically, and be there for him. And then Jim Carrey just knocks it out of the park, obviously. And then the bloopers at the end in the credits. My family and I used to quote those all the time. At number 9, I think it's one of the best movies of all time. It's the best Christmas movie of all time. It's A Wonderful Life. Mm-hmm. Solid black and white Jimmy Stewart. Jimmy Stewart. It's talk about a movie having a good message. Deserved to be in my top 10. At number 8 is my first animated movie, Kung Fu Panda 2. Best DreamWorks movie, best Kung Fu Panda movie. Visually amazing, hilarious. Jack Black. The water drop scene with his past and his mom and the connection to the villain is something that movies just do not do. And that scene is the music is good. Obviously, is it Hans Zimmer again for this one?
Yes.
You know, I think the action is good. It had me laughing to tears, and then you don't. It's a Kung Fu Panda movie. It's a movie about a panda doing kung fu, and you're going to give us this visually water drop being thrown into the past as he's learning to have inner peace, cooked out of their mind. At number 7, I have Across the Spider-Verse.
Nice.
Yeah, had to put a Spider-Verse movie in there. We've gone back and forth about whether Into or Across is better. I have a problem with Across, that's pretty clear, but I'm letting my personal favorite and emotions and memories guide this a little bit, and I have some memories with Across the Spider-Verse, so I wanted to put it in there. Given the fact that I watched this literally this week, and it is what it is, I'm putting Interstellar in here at number 6.
I knew that was going to be in here.
Yeah, I knew we were doing this list, and when I watched it at the Chinese Theater earlier this week, I was like, oh, well, that's one of the slots.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be. Number 5, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Wow,
It deserved the Oscars. I jumped into a pool in a full suit and tie with my friends when it won the Oscar because we all loved it so much. I've seen it 10 times at this point, 9 times in the theaters. I just kept taking more people to see it. It's extremely rewatchable. It's funny. It makes me cry. The Be Kind speech at the end with Waymond, it's amazing. At number 4, my last drama on the list, rom-com, I guess, About Time. This is my top 4. Yeah, About Time is the first time I watched it was 2 years ago, and it's another one where I went home and I was like, y'all gotta watch this movie. It really speaks to me in the way I want to live my life, of focusing on positives and not having to go back and relive each day because you have the ability to time travel, but just making the day worth it. Number 3, final animated movie is Emperor's New Groove. Talked about it already. One of the funniest movies of all time. It's like an hour and 2 minutes. It's short, but it's sweet. Number 2 is The Greatest Showman. And number 1 is The Avengers.
Yep, we all know Avengers fall by The Greatest Showman.
We all know that. We all know that.
Do you care to say anything about Greatest Showman right now?
Just what I've said before. When I first watched this, I thought it was, mid. I gave it like a 7 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Didn't think anything of it. Didn't think I'd ever watch it again. And then the music started coming into my life more. And then the messages of the movie came into my life more. And then I saw Hugh Jackman in concert. And I just watched it more. So if you see the movie and you're like, why the heck would this be anyone's favorite movie? I would probably agree with you the first time I watched it. Mm-hmm. The first time I said to my family, like, this is one of my favorite movies, they were like, what? And now they understand. The circus, the message behind it, the working hard, the creating something for other people, what's the song? It's not Seize the Day, but it's Come Alive. All the music from now on is one of my favorite songs of all time. And I love Hugh Jackman. So just everything about it is perfect for me specifically.
Perfect. Well, excellent. Well, I don't really have any thoughts on your list because I know that. I knew most of those. If you would have asked me what are Andrew's top 10, I think I would have gotten 7 of those.
Yeah.
So I knew most of that. I'm really happy that you are so proud to be a fan of those movies and to tell everybody that those are your favorite movies. I'm proud.
Tons of honorable mentions. Incredibles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Incredibles. Empire Strikes Back. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Ace Ventura meant a lot to me growing up. I loved the Die Hard movie. I love Live Free or Die Hard. There's tons of random, stupid honorable mentions, but yeah.
I'll mention some of my honorable mentions before I get into my list. But before I get into my list, I want to say, Andrew just said for his top 10 favorite movies of all time, he wanted to do a bunch of different franchises. He wants to hit a Spider-Man movie and a couple of animateds and a comedy and this and that. My list is not like that. Half of these movies are from the same franchise.
Sure.
Like they're all... So exactly what you think my top 10 favorite movies of all time are going to be, that's what they're going to be. My honorable mentions real quick. Ocean's 11's probably the first one out. That's probably my 11th place. Ironically enough.
Nightcrawler was another honorable mention, yeah.
12 Angry Men is definitely an honorable mention of mine. Jurassic Park is definitely an honorable mention of mine. Damien Chazelle's Whiplash is definitely an honorable mention of mine. There you go. Those are some of my honorable mentions. Number 10 is also a comedy for me. It is my favorite comedy of all time. It is The Other Guys.
Yeah.
The Other Guys makes me laugh every single time. It's so brilliant. It's written so well, and it's my favorite Will Ferrell role by far because he is so reserved in it. You are really seeing why so many people think this is the funniest guy in the world, because he could do Anchorman, which I love Anchorman. Anchorman's hilarious, but like he can do Anchorman, but he's showing like really the range with his comedy. He is so quiet and reserved and smart, so that finally when Gator, the big personality, comes out, it's the funniest shit ever. Mark Wahlberg is incredible. I love The Other Guys. All right, my number 9 is Inception.
Yeah.
I love Inception with all my heart. Inception is my favorite movie of all time that I don't give a 10 out of 10 to. Inception, I have a clear problem with it, but it's by far my favorite movie of all time that I've ever given a 9 to. From now on, we're going all 10s. Number 8 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. At the time, my favorite animated movie of all time. I think Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is the perfect superhero movie. And if anybody tells me that that's the best superhero movie of all time, I will have no problem with you whatsoever. That's a great take. Number 7, I think, is the best written movie of all time, which is Aaron Sorkin's masterclass, The Social Network, directed by David Fincher. I love this movie with all my heart. I think it's just so brilliantly written. I don't care how inaccurate it is. I don't care that Rooney Mara's character isn't a real person. Don't care, because it's so good that like Mark Zuckerberg, this whole movie is really just making Facebook for her approval. That's so good. I love it so much. At the end when he's trying to friend request her, it's so good. I love that shit. I love that shit so much. And obviously the performances are outrageous. Andrew Garfield in that movie specifically, you know, my fuck you flip-flop scene is an all-time scene. It really is one of the best scenes I've ever seen in my life. And it's a writing masterclass because it leads to that perfectly by juggling both the past, the present, and the future in flashback scenes. Brilliant. Number 6, this is going to surprise people. I've got War for the Planet of the Apes, a movie that's in my Letterboxd top 4 that will not be leaving my Letterboxd top 4. And I can tell you that War is probably not as good of a movie as Dawn. But War represents that trilogy to me in a really great way. If you put all those movies together, for me, War is the one that really embodies them. So for many of the same reason that like people really love Return of the King, that's why I love War for the Planet of the Apes so much. And War for the Planet of the Apes is probably, we talk about this a lot, my favorite looking movie of all time. You want to talk about movies being gray? None of the movies on this list are gray except for The Other Guys and Inception, 2 movies I have problems with. And War for the Planet of the Apes is white. The snow texture in that movie is just one of the most brilliant decisions ever. I love Matt Reeves forever because of what he did with that trilogy. At number 5, I've got Parasite. Best Picture from 2019. Absolutely feel it deserved it. I get that movie's a tad derivative of 2016 Park Chan-wook's The Handmaiden. I get that it's maybe not the most original thing in the world, but I love the commentary, and most importantly, I love the scheming. You know this. You said this when you watched it. I showed it to you this year, and you had this moment. I think we paused it because people needed to go to the bathroom, and like you literally were like, yeah, like this is the most Alex Hat Guy movie I've ever seen in my life. I just love the scheming and the plotting and the planning, and then the twists blew my fucking mind. And the scene with the ghost, with the kid with the cake, horrifying, amazing horror elements in there, just a tad, just a little bit. There's a couple jump scares that are fun. I really, really adore Parasite. Also in my Letterboxd top 4. At number 4, I have The Dark Knight. Sorry, it's
great.
Probably the best written superhero movie of all time. It's so brilliant. It's so well acted. Obviously, you've got Heath Ledger's performance. Obviously, you've got Aaron Eckhart as Two-Face. It comes together perfectly. It's, I think, Christopher Nolan's magnum opus. It's just so great. Yeah, it's derivative of Heat. Go fuck yourself. I love it. I love Batman. I love that movie so much. At number 3, I have a movie from last year. I've got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. When I saw it, I knew that this was one of my favorite movies of all time. I saw it 6 or 7 times in theaters, and then we just saw it in concert. It just always reinforces how much I love that movie. That movie's never going to get old for me. I know that you have a clear problem with the ending. I do not. The ending is one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. Now, part of that was I knew going into it was a part 1, but I Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is just something else. And then my number 2 is The Empire Strikes Back, and my number 1 is Star Wars 1977: A New Hope. So my top 2 favorite movies of all time are the first 2 Star Wars movies. And that shouldn't surprise anybody. I am a Star Wars glazer till the day I die. I am harsh on some of their stuff when I don't like it. But when I like it, it's going to be my favorite thing of all time. Andor's one of my favorite shows of all time. Clone Wars has some of my favorite episodes of TV of all time. It's just, if you make something great in Star Wars, it's going to be my favorite thing of all time. I don't think I need to explain that much. And The Impetus, the first movie in the series, is my first favorite movie of all time. Because what that movie means to me, it's given me so much happiness by giving me my favorite franchise of all time. And Empire Strikes Back is somehow better. But I do like New Hope slightly more. And there you go. That's my TED Talk. Those are my favorite movies of all time.
It's pretty good.
Thank you.
It's pretty good.
Thank you. I did not have the variety that you had.
No, that's fine. I like all those movies.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I like all those movies.
Yeah.
So we've done 5.
We have.
We're at an hour and a half.
We are.
Let's keep banging through them.
I think so.
So now comes we
have no idea.
The mystery rounds.
Yes.
And let's just go ahead and do the Christmas one because we know we're doing a Christmas one.
Sure.
So go ahead and do your Christmas one.
All right. Well, I created this, right? So this is my list that I came up with. So I'm ranking things that give off a Christmas vibe based on how much of a Christmas vibe they give off.
Okay.
You'll get it once I start doing it, okay?
Are they all Christmas things?
Some of them are not.
Okay.
I would actually say most of them are not.
Okay.
But some of them are, okay?
Yeah.
Number 10, in things that give off the most Christmas vibe, I have trains. Trains have no business giving off the Christmas vibe that they give as much as they do.
Yeah, they can have Christmassy vibes. Harry Potter helps with that. There's some Christmassy vibes in that, and there's a big train. Obviously, Polar Express.
Polar Express, I assume, is a big part of that. But every single one of those Christmas dioramas, those winter villages that people put in their house, every single one of them has a house. I mean, a train.
A train's going through it.
Every single one of them. Trains give off a tremendous Christmas vibe, but not too much where it's higher than 10. It's my 10th spot. Number 9.
Some hot cocoa on the train, some frost on the window, looking out at a snowy mountain.
Murder on the Orient Express, not a Christmas movie. Might as well be.
Might as well be.
Exactly.
Just throw a Christmas tree in there.
Exactly. The winter, the snow.
Not all trains. Not like metros or subways.
No, like a classic steam train.
Yeah.
At number 9, I have Christmas advertisements. Ads. Christmas ads have such a Christmas vibe. Yeah. You get the classic Coca-Cola Christmas ads before they switch to AI. You have, the
kiss. Ding, 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 ding.
You have that great Corona ad, which is the palm tree with the Christmas lights. All the car commercials where it's just a car inexplicably driving in snow. And then they show up at this luxury mansion and then this wife dressed in red is thrilled.
The NBA one where they're shooting and they play the song.
Absolutely. All that. Christmas advertisements really give off a Christmas vibe. Number 8, I have the color forest green. Forest green has no business giving off that much Christmas spirit. It's like the Christmas color. I get that red is the Christmas color because of Santa Claus and everything like that, but forest green is the green they use.
Yeah, this is Christmassy for sure.
Very Christmassy.
Yeah.
But can't put it higher than 8. At number 7, something you've already mentioned, I've got the Harry Potter movies. Every single Harry Potter movie has a Christmas scene in it. Which is weird because wouldn't Jesus just be a regular wizard?
He'd be the best. King wizard.
Gotcha.
King of Kings wizard.
Gotcha. But the Harry Potter movies.
Every single one. Deathly Hallows Part 2 has a Christmas scene?
Probably not, but Deathly Hallows Part 1 does.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're all just, they have just such a distinct Christmas.
Happy Christmas, Harry.
Yeah, they just have such a distinct Christmas vibe. Absolutely. The Harry Potter movies are number 7 on my list. And number 6, something else you mentioned earlier, Christmas basketball in the NBA. Playing a couple of good NBA games on Christmas. I've been to a couple of those, especially when the Heat had LeBron. I went to a couple of those. Very exciting. Back in the day, they used to wear special jerseys for Christmas. They used to wear special shoes for Christmas. Fortunately, they've kind of stopped that. But
I don't know if that deserves a higher placement than Forest Green.
that's fair.
But I'm not a sports guy.
To me, it gives me a lot of Christmas vibes. I just remember a bunch of family coming over. We opened presents in the morning. That I get a LeBron James Christmas jersey, and now I'm going to the game wearing that jersey. That's just very Christmas to me.
Yeah, fair enough.
And number 5, I have beanies, or as you call them, toboggans. Something about this.
Yeah.
Such a Christmas vibe.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a wintry thing. You know what I
But
mean?
specifically these. Like, I find this has a more Christmas vibe than like a coat.
Yeah.
Or a big jacket. Or because all that's like for snowboarding and all that stuff.
That's cuter and more magical.
More magical,
Whimsical.
more whimsical, more Christmas, in my opinion.
Yeah, fair enough.
And number 4, I have churches.
Yeah.
Churches go all out for Christmas. Of
course.
They got the trees, you go in, they got the red, they got the green, they got this. The fucking priest is in a special fucking Christmas.
It's the birth of the King of King Wizard.
You've always got a nativity set.
Mm-hmm.
Churches go all out for Christmas. Churches always get a church vibe. I go to church on Christmas Day. Church always gives a Christmas vibe. You got the singing. And number 3, I've got NFL football. I know. But lately, last couple years, there have been Christmas games. And more importantly, it's always just when the NFL season is getting to its best, it's always late December. You get that Christmas vibe. So everything that I've mentioned, you're seeing a lot of Forest Green. You're seeing a lot of Christmas advertisements. So as we get into NFL football and you got these guys and they're playing snow games and this and that gives me a real Christmas vibe. And number 2, I have Christmas lights. Lights on everything. Lights are on everything. They're on trees. They're on Christmas trees. They're in the malls. They're hanging from the ceiling.
Street lights.
You got them on the house. You got them on the cars. You ever see those cars that are covered in Christmas lights?
I went to Five Guys yesterday, and I parked next to. I thought it was a wrap. I didn't think it was real, and then I noticed that all the lights were like actual lights. I was like, that must have taken forever.
Yeah, and tremendously expensive to power it all.
Yeah.
From your car? Yeah, it's gonna kill your battery. Anyway, yes, Christmas lights give off Christmas like nothing else. And at number 1, I think you'll agree with this. Nothing gets me more in a Christmas mood, gives me more of a Christmas vibe than a little bit of "It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas." Christmas music gives off the most Christmas vibe possible.
So not what's your favorite, but what gives off the most Christmassy vibe song? Not what because Underneath the Tree is a lot of fun.
Underneath the Tree is my favorite, probably. You've got the Mariah Carey song as a good one, but I'm probably going with Michael Bublé's It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
You cooked out of your mind with this list. I agree.
It's such a Christmas
Nice
vibe.
work.
Thank you.
No.
You like my ingenuity?
Yeah. That's good.
All right. Thank you, buddy.
Good.
All right. What's your Christmas list?
My Christmas list is Christmas characters.
Nice.
Okay, so these are my favorites, or just ones that stand out to me. I haven't seen every Christmas movie ever or whatever, but these are ones that popped into my head.
Yep.
Let us know your favorite Christmas characters. At number 10, I know this is going to be a low for a lot of people, but we don't like Elf as much as people. I'm going to put Buddy the Elf.
Buddy the Elf, wow. Yeah.
I still think he deserved top 10.
Absolutely.
Needed to put him in there. He's just not my favorite.
Yep.
Shout out Will Ferrell. Number 9 is the conductor from Polar Express.
Yeah, Tom Hanks.
Yeah. I don't remember the movie all that well, but I do remember him, and I know that like tons of people love the conductor, and like he kind of made the movie. I do remember that feeling that I got from him. So
Hot Chocolate, one of the best Christmas movie songs ever.
Yeah.
Continue.
Number 8, I'm just putting Scrooge in general.
Yeah.
I love his story. I've been in the play.
Yep.
And there's the Muppets version. There's the animated version. Whatever. And I love his story from going from a douchebag to a
nice guy.
Christmas spirit. If we're talking about Christmas spirit, Ebenezer Scrooge at the end is great.
Absolutely.
7, I have Harry and Marv from Home Alone. I love them. I think the Wet Bandits, the first 2 movies there, I think they help.
Joe Pesci is hilarious in those movies.
When Marv keeps getting hit with the bricks in Home Alone 2, and it's a running bit where like every time you think Harry's finally gonna get hit and he moves, and then Marv just gets hit in the head again, and it happens like 3 times. It's funny, and then it's not funny, and then like, all right, now it's finally gonna hit the other guy, and he's just like, Harry, and he just keeps getting hit. Hilarious. I love them. They deserve to be on here. 6 is Yukon Cornelius.
Who?
Yukon Cornelius. You can look him up. He is the prospector from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Okay.
He's the one that throws his pickaxe up in the air and it lands and he goes over and he licks it and he goes, nothing. I love him.
Okay.
He was one of our favorite characters growing up. He's a cult favorite. I know he is.
All right.
They know who I'm talking about. Number 5 is Klaus. Claus are from the movie Klaus.
Yeah.
Great movie. I've only seen it once, so I remember which character I really want to pick, but I do remember J.K. Simmons voicing basically the Santa Claus type character in that movie, and I wanted to shout out that movie because it is great, and it is one of the best Christmas movies probably. I really, really enjoyed watching it last year, so he is my number 5. My number 4 is Linus from Charlie Brown Christmas. His speech about, that's the meaning of Christmas, Charlie Brown, and then that leading to Charlie Brown taking his little tree and wrapping it up, and then all the kids coming together and singing. Love Linus. He's also got a blankie just like me. Shout out Linus. He was always my favorite Peanuts character.
Shout out Linus.
And he's great in that in that special. Number 3 is the Snow Miser. And the Heat Miser, but I like the Snow Miser better.
Yeah.
Peak songs.
Yeah.
What's the name of that special? The Year Without a Santa Claus, I think.
Yeah.
Ba-dum bum bum ba. Great song.
Banger.
And they're
You
really
did a great impression of that, by the way.
I'm Mr. Heat Miser. Yeah, great.
Banger.
Banger.
You know what vibe I get from that song? The bare necessities. It's just one of these.
Yeah, it's one of these. Gotta do like, just gotta get down with it. Okay. Number 2, I have George Bailey. This is the main character of It's a Wonderful Life. He technically deserves number 1.
Sure.
Just a good guy. The thing with his ear, his fight with Mr. Potter, the voice, his love story. Best movie, and he deserves it. At number 1, I put the GOAT. The only person that could maybe take on Batman with prep time. It's Kevin McAllister.
Nice.
He's my number 1.
Good for you. That's a good list.
The ingenuity of a kid throwing down paint cans to smack robbers in the face, creating one of the best holiday classics of all time. I got to give him a shout out. He's my number 1.
This is a good list. You do have some clear snubs here.
Sure. What are they?
You don't have Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I didn't put Rudolph or Frosty.
I was going to say Frosty's the other snub.
They've got good iconicity. Their characters in their actual specials are just kind of not much.
But Frosty the Snowman.
I would put Frosty on the list before Rudolph.
Okay, and then the biggest snub of them all.
Grinch.
Where the fuck is the Grinch?
I know. I almost put him at 10 instead of
Buddy the Elf over the Grinch.
I thought more people would be upset if I didn't put Buddy over the Grinch. Also, I haven't seen the Jim Carrey one. We are watching that with the patrons. That's our
Patreon movie night this month.
So I will be seeing it for the first time this year.
Okay.
But personally, I just like the others. And Scrooge was kind of my pick for like
the asshole Christmas guy
that turns good.
Yep.
Yeah, it was tough. But yes, Grinch is definitely an honorable mention. All right, next.
What should we do now?
Another one of mine.
Okay. Well, should I go first on this one?
You went first on Christmas.
Oh, you're right. Go.
But it doesn't matter.
No, go for it.
Pick 1 through 3.
3.
Okay, great. We're gonna do best Disney/Universal rides. These are my top 10.
Nice.
These are my top 10 rides.
You should have done this because you're an expert on rides.
I am.
This is something that people would want.
Yes.
This is great. This is very similar to one of my lists. So I'm very happy you did this.
There will be clear snubs and there will be clear favorites.
Cool. Let's hear it.
This is my list, and you can frick off.
This is your list for what?
This is my list for top 10 Disney and Universal rides. So this does not include Six Flags or Busch Gardens or SeaWorld or anything like that. It is just the Orlando and Los Angeles parks of Disney and Universal.
Cool. Let's hear it.
At number 10, I have Toy Story Mania.
Nice.
This used to be like my top 3.
Wow.
It has fallen quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to get good at it, and I tried my best, and it's just impossible.
Oh, you're just trash.
Yeah.
It's like your Super Smash Brothers experience.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun, and there is clear strategy to it. It's not like some of the other shooting games where you just can't tell what's going on. And I just plateaued at one point, and then I stopped liking it as much, but I still wanted to put it in my top 10. At my number 9 is another shooting game. I adore the Men in Black ride at Universal in Orlando. It's super simple for everyone else. It is one of the only rides I will ride 20 times in a row. I have gone by myself to the park at 9 p.m. with my AirPods in and rode the ride 5-6 times in a row just by myself. Okay? It is because it is possible for me to max it out. I can get the absolute high score and make the numbers like not be able to get any higher. I can get 999,999. I have done it before. I've done it twice. So it's always a challenge for me to get in there and see if I can do it.
So it's like you being at home playing video games.
Correct.
Oh, interesting.
I've ridden it so many times. Like, I don't have to listen to the workers. Like, I know where to put my stuff. I don't need to listen to the sounds anymore. I'm just blasting my rock music and I'm just by myself playing this game. I love it. It should probably be higher. But yeah, okay. At number 8, I have Forbidden Journey.
Yeah.
It breaks down sometimes. It's not as novel as when it first came out, but in terms of combining real world effects with 3D screen stuff and a dynamic little arm that's making you feel like you're kind of in a roller coaster, but not anyone can ride it. Staying true to the source material, you get Dementors, you get the Aragog in the forest, you get a dragon, you're riding a bench, you get Harry, Ron, Hermione, Hagrid, Dumbledore. It's just like, if you're going to make a ride about Harry Potter, that is the peak best way to cover all the bases. And I think it's probably the best ride that has done something like that. At number 7, I have, it probably should be higher. I could have rearranged these. At number 7, I have Rip Ride Rocket.
Nice, yeah.
It is... Yeah, I don't have Rock and Roller Coaster on here. I decided to put Rip Ride Rocket. It is one that has also fallen a little bit on my list. It's gotten bumpier the longer it's been a thing. They've taken a lot of songs out. You used to have 5 songs per category that you could choose from when you're riding the ride. Now it's like 1 per category. They took out the Kanye song, which was my favorite song in the thing. I guess they had to. He's a psychopath. But Stronger was my favorite one. They still have the secret menu, which has a Billy Joel song on it, so I can still do that. But the extreme vertical up, and it's a great ride. Tower of Terror is my number 6.
Nice.
Classic. Love the monologue at the start.
Yes.
It's creepy. Don't ever change it. I do love it. You'll see something else on my list might make you think that I want it to be changed. I don't. Leave it the way it is. Twilight Zone is amazing. Number 5, I have Incredicoaster.
Nice.
It is a great roller coaster. I love coasters. There are a lot of coasters that are more thrill-based, like Velocicoaster or Hulk or things like that, than the roller coasters on my list. But I love when things have thrill, but also have theming. And Incredicoaster has theming. It has the Glory Days or whatever Incredibles music playing. It has them talking to you. You go through tunnels where they're using their powers, and Jack, oh, he's gooey. Oh, you can smell the cookies. Like, oh, you see Violet creating a force field. The Incredibles are talking to you at the start. You're running with Dash on the water at the start. Give me that.
It's very good theming.
It's very good theming. And you go upside down, and there's drops and stuff like that. Give me the drops. Give me the upside down. Give me the thrill, but also make me feel like I'm part of the movie somewhat. That's why I don't have Velocicoaster on here, because I was expecting that. And then you just have a Velocicoaster at the start of the ride, and then that's it. Cool, you get an inversion over the water. I love Velocicoaster, but it's just not going to be as high as everything else to me. At number 3, I have Flight of Passage. Can easily make the argument that this is 1. It's unbelievable. It's breathtaking. I love taking people to see it. The whole Pandora area is so perfect. The Flight of Passage, the first time I rode it, it's amazing. The last time I rode it, it's amazing. Correct. Please don't ever take it away.
Yes.
I love taking people. When I took the big group of 12 people from Los Angeles there, and I got to take them on that ride for the first time, a couple of my friends came off and they were like crying, because they were like, this is like, makes me feel like a kid. It's unbelievable. The smells, the thing it's breathing. I love Disney. I love Universal.
My favorite ride of all time.
And I will not get mad at that at all.
Absolutely.
Okay, my top 2, and these are my clear top. Oh, I skipped 4. Incredicoaster was 5. I skipped to 3. I'm so sorry. Okay. Number 4 is a ride that's not available anymore, because it has been replaced by my number 1, which is crazy.
I know what this is. Dueling Dragons.
Dueling Dragons. It was a roller coaster. It was basically 2 dragons. It was one where your feet are dangling. I love roller coasters like that. Batman at Six Flags, there's a lot of rides like that. And the roller coasters interweaved with each other, and it was basically 2 dragons going at it, and it was just a lot of fun. The wait time was very low because they had 2 going at all the time, so you normally had to wait like maybe 5 minutes. My brother and I, when we went, literally rode it about 12 times in like 2 or 3 days. Wow. And when I heard that it was being taken away, I was devastated, but they happened to replace it with my favorite ride of all time, which we'll get to. Number 2 is Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout,
which is the Tower of Terror Guardians of the Galaxy.
Correct.
In LA. Which
I'm sure a lot of people were upset because they took Tower of Terror away. I know, I totally understand that. That's why I'm glad they still have it in Orlando. We can still ride it there, but they replaced it with potentially the most fun ride of all time. A lot of people are going to think I'm crazy for snubbing Guardians and Epcot. I personally like this Guardians ride better. Guardians and Epcot is fun. It's amazing. It's lovely. You are part of the story in that. I'll give it all its flowers. I'm sorry it's not on the list, but there has just never been a moment where I have gotten off of Guardians Mission Breakout and not had a smile on my face. The drops, Rocket and the Guardians talking to you, the music. Yes, the Guardians ride in Epcot is fun. You're going around, but this is just, you're doing this and you're listening to some 80s music and you get off and you're just a happy person. I'm sorry. I can't get over it. And number one is the best ride of all time. In Universal Orlando, it's Hagrid's Magical Motorbike Adventure. If you're talking about theming a roller coaster, you can't possibly do better. The amount of, you don't go upside down, but you launch 5 different times. You go 90 miles an hour or whatever it is. You hit the dragon button. You take off. You go backwards. You drop. It's themed. The drop is themed. It's Devil Snare. Hagrid is fighting this. You're going backwards because you're in the Forbidden Forest and the pixies are taking over. Fluffy is there. The centaurs are there. It's so fun. It has the same effect that Guardians has with me, where every time I get off of it, I have a smile on my face. I love taking people on that ride, and it's not just thrill, it's also great theming. I love all of these rides. I love Disney and Universal. Please bring me to Epic Universe. When that opens up, Universal, please let me go early. And I love all of these rides, and I can't wait for what's to come.
Amazing. That was a great list. A lot of the
Sorry
ones
for rambling.
A lot of the ones you mentioned would also be on my top 10, but I'm nowhere near an expert. I've never had an annual pass at any of these places.
Yeah.
Flight of Passage is definitely my number one, though. I do think you snubbed the Epcot Guardians, though. I love that ride.
Yeah, that's fair.
So for mine, I'm known as a little bit of a Star Wars guy. Everybody knows me as a Star Wars fan, so I'm just going to go. I've got my top 10 favorite Star Wars characters here.
Great.
So here we go. At number 10, I've got a pretty shocking pick here. I've got Mon Mothma.
Okay, because of Andor.
Andor, she's got a role in some comic books. She plays a great role. It's actually the same actress as Andor in Revenge of the Sith, but her in Andor is incredible. She's by far my favorite character in Andor, if you don't consider Kino Loy, and I don't because he's in 3 episodes. She's incredible in Andor, and her story is so brilliant and everything, and it adds so much context to the rebellion and everything. I love what they did with her character. She is definitely in my top 10, but she is number 10. Number 9 is General Grievous. General Grievous is on here mostly because he looks very cool.
Yeah.
He just is one of the coolest looking characters ever. When Revenge of the Sith came out, I was like, wow, General Grievous is the coolest character ever. That being said, I think General Grievous' story is brilliant, right? He was a Kaleesh warrior, and Dooku bombed him in his ship and blamed it on the Jedi. That is his outright unbelievable. He is a cyborg and is horribly scarred. And now, at this point, by the time you see him in Revenge of the Sith, literally just brain, eyes, heart,
lungs,
organs.
Yeah.
That's all that's left of him. He blames the Jedi for that incredible pain he's in every single day. I love the idea that he's always upgrading. And I love the idea that the most feared character in the galaxy during the Clone Wars is the biggest coward. He runs away more than anybody else in the Star Wars universe from danger, even though his reputation is he is the scariest guy in the Star Wars universe. I think that's a really cool writing choice. At number 8, I've got a pretty new character on the list. I've got the Mandalorian. I think the Din Djarin story has really, really impressed me. I really love his relationship with Grogu. I think it's one of the strongest things in Disney Star Wars period is that Mandalorian show. He's great in it consistently. I love him. I love Pedro Pascal in that role. I love the 2 stunt doubles that are always the ones in the suit. I love the Mandalorian. I'm really excited for his movie. And number 7, I have Boba Fett. Boba Fett is on here also because he looks really, really cool. But Boba Fett is also on here because I did like the Book of Boba Fett show more than most, but that's not the big part of why he's on here. Why he's on here is because of the unbelievable, brilliant moment we get from him in episode 6 of The Mandalorian season 2. He's just murdering stormtroopers with a gaffy stick with his bare hands. It's incredible. It's extremely exciting. Finally, in 2021, 2022, we finally saw the Boba Fett that we've always been hearing about.
Right.
Right. And so, yeah, sure, he's up here because he looks cool, but sorry, Star Wars looks fucking cool.
Yep.
All right. Number 6, I've got Luke Skywalker.
Okay.
Hot take. This is going to piss a lot of people off. He is not on here without The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi, I know people think he's character assassination, whatever. I think The Last Jedi makes his character significantly better. I love the sacrifice he makes at the end. I love his line at the start of the movie. What do you want me to do? Just stare down the whole First Order with a laser sword? Guess what? At the end of the movie, that's exactly what he fucking does. I think it's the coolest thing ever. Yeah, obviously I love Mark Hamill in the role in the original trilogy, but I don't love the jump that happens off screen from Empire Strikes Back Luke to Return of the Jedi Luke. So that's why I've always been more critical of his character. But I love what they did with him in Last Jedi so much. It makes perfect sense with his character, in my opinion. A lot of people don't like that he almost kills his nephew. It makes perfect sense with who he is as a character. He almost kills his dad. He almost kills everybody. He jumps into Bespin without thinking about it. Like, that's always what he's done, so I don't mind. And then the scene in The Mandalorian Season 2 is fucking incredible. And then at number 5, I've got Emperor Palpatine. He's not really on here for character. He's not on here for character design. He is just so fucking fun to watch. Ian McDiarmid is incredible in the role. He's so slimy and gross and evil, and he's just evil, and he loves being evil. And I love that about him. I think the whole Clone Wars being orchestrated by him is extremely fun. And he is acting his ass off in those prequel movies. I can't stress enough. My favorite scene in Star Wars is the Darth Plagueis the Wise scene. I'd be remiss to not have him in the top 5. At number 4 is...
His another honorable mention for my Star Wars sounds was his scream. When he jumped at Mace Windu.
Yeah. At number 4, and so many memes with Palpatine. I am the Senate, all of that. Number 4, I have the GOAT. Who's the GOAT?
Yoda.
He's undefeated. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi is the Tom Brady of the Star Wars universe. He's not the most talented guy. He's not the strongest in the Force, whatever. Same with Tom Brady. Doesn't throw the football the best. That's Aaron Rodgers. That's these other guys, Dan Marino, whatever. But he wins every single duel he's in until he's just too old. It's the same as Tom Brady. Same thing. He defeats the chosen one, Anakin Skywalker, who's got 50 times the midichlorian count that he has, that's on the offensive the entire time, just outsmarts him. He beats General Grievous, the most scary part of the Clone Wars. Like, the only person he loses to twice, his Eli Manning, is Count Dooku. He loses to Count Dooku twice. Whatever. Tom Brady could have beat Eli Manning. Obi-Wan could have beat Count Dooku. Otherwise, he beats everybody. He's the GOAT. He's the man. And obviously, Ewan McGregor's incredible in the role. Obviously, Alec Guinness was nominated for a fucking Oscar in the role in New Hope. I love Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's, the godfather of the old man teaches young buck the ways. That stereotype, he's the man. I love Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then here's my top 3. My top 3 has been my top 3. Well, I guess my top 4. My top 4 has been my top 4 my whole life. Number 3 is Darth Maul. Darth Maul is an incredible character design. The double-sided lightsaber is incredible. All that. He's on there because of the design. And then Clone Wars brings him back to life. He wasn't in my top 3 before Clone Wars. Clone Wars brings him back to life and gives him some of the most tragic backstory, some of the most, genuinely brilliant writing. He is an incredible secondary antagonist in the Clone Wars, all the way until the Siege of Mandalore. Those 4 episodes are some of the greatest Star Wars we've ever gotten. I've said on this podcast many times, and he is incredible. When they're trying to kill him through Order 66, and he's just killing people with doors because he doesn't have his lightsaber. When he's in charge of Mandalore and he lets his troops die and surrender because he's just looking out for himself. Everything. The fact that he knew that Palpatine's plot, he knew that Palpatine was the Chancellor, but didn't tell that to the Jedi, obviously, because they're enemies, but then doesn't know how he's going to pull off Order 66, but know that he's doing it. Then you see his reaction to Order 66. Everything about Maul, thanks to Clone Wars, is just brilliant. He's my number 3. Number 2 and number 1 have always been the same. Number 2 is Yoda. Yoda's my guy. Yoda is the funniest character in the original trilogy. He is absolutely hilarious in Empire Strikes Back. He's incredible. He's so wise. Every scene on Dagobah is incredible in Empire Strikes Back. And he's just the man. And then I love that he's just the best Jedi and everything. I hate a lot of the stuff they do with him in the prequels. I hate the advice he gives to Anakin where he's like, yeah, if you have people that are close to you, just let them die. Actually, be happy when they die. That's terrible advice, whatever. I don't like that he uses a lightsaber, but I've been very good about keeping Clone Wars and prequels Yoda separate from original trilogy Yoda. Original trilogy Yoda is my second favorite character of all time. And number 1 is the best Star Wars character of all time. One of the best characters of all time is Darth Vader. It's Anakin Skywalker. There we go. That's my top 10 Star Wars characters.
Very nice.
I've got some major snubs on here.
Well, yeah.
No Han Solo, no Leia.
Yeah, no Han, no Chewbacca, no R2. But, I mean, Star Wars has so many characters. And you had the weird ones that, Darth Maul's at 3, you had specific reason for.
Absolutely.
A lot of Clone Wars people believe that.
Yeah.
So what, we got 3 more?
Yes. 1, 2.
Yeah, 3 more.
Yep.
You want to do another one?
Sure.
Let's bang through them.
All right. Here's one that I think you'll like. I get top 10 original songs from movies and TV this year, 2024.
Let's hear it.
You ready? At number 10, I've got New Brain from Smile 2. Great song, Sky Riley. Spoiler alert, not the last Sky Riley song on here. At number 9, I've got the Ballad of the Witch's Road, specifically the Sacred Chant version from Agatha All Along.
Not the 80s version.
No.
Down the road.
I've got the original version when they're originally trying to open the door.
That one, yeah.
I like that a lot. It's got some comedy in it. I think it's really well written. I like the harmonies that they hit. It's 5 or 6 women singing. That's going to be sick every time.
Yeah.
And it's the people that wrote, it's the duo that wrote Let It Go. Like they do Frozen. They did WandaVision music. Of course, it's brilliant. At number 8, I've got Get Lost from Moana 2. That is the villain song, Get Lost. I think it's got a very fun vibe.
Yeah.
I think the verses of it are a lot of fun. I don't love the chorus as much, and that's why it's number 8. And number 7, I've got Save Me by Lady Raven from Trap. From Saleka. I love that song. Spoiler alert, not the last Trap song on here. At number 6, I've got Death of Me from Smile 2. That is the end credits song before the horrifying end credits edit that they do, which is her laughing with her screams, whatever. But Death of Me is fucking hard. And it was the actress, Naomi Scott, her favorite song from Smile 2. I don't blame her. It's a fucking banger. And number 5, I've got Beyond from Moana 2. I'll go beyond.
I thought that would be higher.
So tough. I love that riff so much. That's number 5. That they did a really, I think the Moana 2 music clearly works than the first one, but that song is good enough to belong in that original Lin-Manuel Miranda soundtrack. And number 4, I've got Pieces from Trap. That is my favorite song from Trap. It's got a little feature on there. I think it's just a super, super fun vibe. I like that song a lot. And number 3, I've got Blood on White Satin from Smile 2. That is the song that you see her performing with I Got a Secret to Tell You. Oh, that shit is so tough. I love that song. They use that song in a lot of the trailers. I really, really like that song. Number 2 is a song that you are very familiar with. You don't like it as much as me. I've got Double Life from Despicable Me 4. The Pharrell song. Who will you be tonight? That's the question. Dum. That shit is so tough.
It's good.
Love that song. That's clearly number 2. And then number 1, there's not even a question that this is number 1. It's Feel It from Invincible Season 2. Oh my gosh. Ooh, I love the way you got me feel it. By David. It is incredible. I love Feel It so much. Apparently, he's going to be working on the Spider-Verse 3 soundtrack. That's
fun.
This is the song that plays when him and Amber are just flying around on their date. It matches the vibe. It's one of my favorite songs to come out this year, period. Whether it's from a movie or TV at all. I love that song with all my heart. That was always going to be number 1, and there you go.
Very good.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Thank you.
It's a good number 1. My next top 10, I got 3 left. My next top 10 is going to be Marvel Rivals characters based on smashability.
Solid.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Here are my top 10.
Yeah.
At number 10, Mantis. Sue me.
Yeah. You've always been a Mantis guy.
I've always been a Mantis guy, and it ain't changed with Marvel Rivals. At number 9, Luna Snow, if you want to look up any of these.
Yeah, I know these characters.
You've seen them? Yeah. You've seen the Marvel Rivals versions?
I haven't. I heard they're especially busty.
I mean, they can be. I mean, Doctor Strange is my honorable mention on here. He is a daddy, dude. He's got a beard. They're all jacked. Hulk he's on here. I put him on here. And number 8 is Namor. Look up Namor. They give Namor.
Yeah, they made Luna Snow hot.
And she's at 9, brother. She's at 9.
Who do you?
Namor.
Namor
Marvel Rivals. Look at this man. They gave him way too much swag.
Oh my gosh.
The abs, the thing on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Insane. At 7, we have Storm.
Yeah.
I mean, any Storm design deserves to be in the top 10
absolutely.
for sure.
She's literally a goddess.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
She looks great. At number 6, I have Venom. Simply what that tongue do.
Absolutely.
No,
everybody knows what you're talking
the
about.
versatility.
Absolutely.
You can do whatever. At number 5, we have Thor. Look up Thor. Thor, they give him he's not young, stupid Thor. He's fully bearded man Thor.
Yeah, this is good. Yep.
Let me see.
Yep.
I want to see.
Oh.
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah.
If I know what I'm talking about.
Big
Yeah,
daddy.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Big
yeah.
daddy. Yeah, thick thick
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Look up Hulk. Number 4, I got Hulk. Okay, he might kill me, in the process, but for some reason, like his haircut and his head, I think they did a nice job with. So I decided to.
This is a hot haircut,
right?
It's a little bit of a low taper fade.
Exactly. He's ripping off Ninja. Number 3, I decided to put Punisher.
Massive meme.
Yeah, look up Punisher for me. Mainly the patrons. By the way, the patrons, thank you so much. They helped me come up with some of these lists and gave me some ideas.
Nice.
They said Punisher should be pretty high.
Yeah, he's hot.
Let
He's
me see.
big.
Let me see. Yeah. He's got the arms out.
Yeah.
Okay. And here are my top 2. And if you disagree with these top 2, I don't really know what to tell you. I don't care if this makes me a furry. Squirrel Girl's number 2.
I knew that was coming.
Squirrel Girl's number 2, man.
Of course, and it's the AT&T girl is finally playing her.
Dude.
So bad.
The face.
Yep.
She's bad.
Yep.
She's bad. Okay. Squirrel Girl's number 2. Number 1, you had to do it. If you don't have her at number 1, I don't know what to tell you. She's number 1 in any variation. Take her from the TV show, take her from the movie, take her from Marvel Rivals. Black Widow's number 1.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah,
I knew this was coming.
the red hair.
Yep.
The suit.
I honestly think she looks hotter in Marvel Rivals than many other iterations.
And that's
saying something.
Saying something.
That's like
brother.
such an achievement. Her waist is just so snatched, but her hips are
Can't even see it. It's like Zach.
Absurd. She's just got an unbelievable body. She's got the proper red hair.
Yeah,
like the color
red.
of your jacket. It's not like the orange ginger.
Woo!
I am surprised to see that the shark isn't on there.
The shark wasn't an honorable mention, but it wasn't smashability. The smashability in that case would just be like actually smashing him and killing him because he's so annoying.
Oh, hot take. All right, there's your
It's
Marvel
not a hot
Rivals.
take. Everyone hates him.
Top 10
He's so overpowered.
hottest Marvel Rivals characters. I like that. Solid. All right. For my next one.
No, I go again. No,
Do you?
or do you want to go?
Sure.
I don't care. Let's go back and forth. Go ahead,
All right. Well, what's my name?
Alex.
What's my other name?
Azor. Hat guy.
There
top
we
10,
go.
Top 10 hats.
I am Hat Guy. So it's about time I do my top 10 favorite hats
Let's do it.
that I own. And I have a list. I've got them here with me. At number 10, I have this hat, which is a Sandstorm Marlins hat. It's from Hat Club. I'm not going to tell you where every single one of these are. Pink brim. It's nice. This hat, based on design alone, would be top 3, but it does not fit me well. I do not like the way it fits my head. I don't love it. Kind of the only way I can wear it properly is backwards.
But it looks good on you.
It looks good backwards, but it's just not colors-wise and design-wise. This is like top 3, easy.
Sure.
But it doesn't fit me as well as I'd like it to. So that's number 10.
Okay.
And number 9, I have this Super Bowl hat for the Rams. I really like this Rams Super Bowl hat. I don't know that many people that have it, and every time I wear it, I get compliments from Rams fans. It is a green brim. It's a snapback, so I can wear it whenever, with whatever, everything like that. I like it a lot. I just like it based on its design. At 8, I've got this, which I got at a convention. It's a shiny Charizard hat.
Nice.
And I like that. It's a nerdy hat. It's cool, whatever, and it fits me well. I'm happy with the way it fits me.
Nice.
So that's going to be at number 8. At number 7, I've got this Pokemon hat that I got actually as a gift from a fan at your TASM 2 event. So not only does it have the sentimental value of that, but I love Pokemon. I love having a Pokemon hat. It fits me well. It's actually the hat I was wearing in my Will Smith video that Will Smith saw and reposted on his Instagram. Next, I've got this Florida Panthers hat, mostly just because it's a cool blue. It looks cool. I got it after they won the championship. It's got the sentimental value, and I can kind of wear it with everything. Next, I've got this Marlins hat. The significance of this Marlins hat is it is Heat colors. This is a Hat Club collab where they made the baseball teams have the same colors hats as the basketball teams. So I love that. I love that I could wear this hat. I'm a Marlins guy. Obviously, I can wear this hat to a Heat game. I love that a lot. So that's next on this list. Next, I've got this Rams hat. I've only worn this once on the pod. I wore it for the Straw Hat Goofy episode. I just love it. It's a forest green, very Christmas vibes. I love I love the colors and everything. I think the colors pop, and it's unique. You never see a Rams hat whose colors are blue and yellow on a green hat with orange. You know, that's pretty rare. So I like how unique it is. Next, number 3, I've got the hat I'm currently wearing, which is the Super Bowl championship hat from the Rams when they won the Super Bowl in 2021. I wear this hat more than any other hat I wear. I've worn it on the pod more than any other hat. I love this hat with all my heart because more so of what it signifies and means, and it's easy to wear. At number 2, this was always going to be number 2, and number 1 was always going to be number 1. I have this burgundy snapback for the Marlins. I like it. It's the classic Marlins teal on it, but I like the burgundy colors of it. I like the patch. It's a snapback, so I can kind of wear it no matter what my hairstyle is. And it's actually the hat that I wore for the first episode of the podcast. So it's got like a little sentimental value with this. And I do wear this one probably second most out of this top 10 list. And my number 1 hat by far is a classic teal Marlins hat. They came out with this for the 30th anniversary last year. It's a very common hat. A lot of people have this hat, but I just love the classic Marlins teal. It's actually more teal than the throwback hats, so I like that. It's got a black brim. I don't wear this as much as I'd maybe like to because teal is kind of hard to match with, but the sentimental value of us wearing these uniforms 2 years ago means a lot to me, and I can't wait for this to be a permanent look. There you go.
Very nice. You missed one.
1, 2, 3, 4,
No,
5,
this
6,
one?
7, 8, 9, 10. Oh,
There you go.
this does seem like a hat I would wear.
It says, "Sounds gay, I'm in."
There we go. All right. Sounds gay. I'm in.
Ah, nice. Also, the Arby's hat. Could have put that on there. Shout out Arby's. Okay.
Shout out Arby's.
Your number 7 or 8 you wore to my TASM 2 event? Or someone gave it to you at the TASM 2 event.
the
Sorry.
Pokemon.
Yeah. So speaking of that, my second to last, my penultimate. What's the word?
Penultimate.
Penultimate. My second to last top 10 list is the top 10 TASM 2 moments.
Oh my gosh.
So this is, the list could be much longer, and the fact that these top 10, like, there's just so many moments in this movie that are breathtaking and amazing. So it was hard to narrow down, and these are all great. So at number 10, the moments in this movie, they're so good. At number 10 on this list, I have Peter walking across the street when he sees Gwen and he's just stopping traffic. Love this moment. The amount of moments that you shut the frick up. This entire list could just be Gwen and Peter moments, because every single second they're on screen, it's the best superhero love story we've had. But I decided to choose that one, and that can go in conjunction with the you can't do this cute thing with your nose,
That
and then
one's cute.
sharing
I'll give
ice
you that
cream,
one.
all that. But when he sees her and he just puts his hand up and is walking across the street, love that. Number 9, I have Peter helping the kid with the windmill.
That's too low.
Yeah, you can move these around. It just perfectly shows who Spider-Man is, which some movies don't. But that was great, and they put that in the montage, and they didn't have to. At number 8, I have the valedictorian speech. You can either take this from the start or from the end. Mainly from the end when he hears the whole thing after what had happened. Unbelievably powerful. Number 7, I have the Oscorp escape. This is also the moment between Gwen and Peter where he's helping them.
That's a great scene as well.
It's a great scene. It's comedic. It shows his powers. It's flirty and cute with them, and she's laughing at him, and the choreography of it's great. Great moment. At number 6, I have the opening swing. This should be higher. This is probably number 2. I don't know why this is so low. Yeah, this is way higher. But it's one of my favorite scenes in any movie ever when he does this, and you see the logo and the visual effects of it and how bright it is and the way he's moving. It is Spider-Man, and I love it so much. At number 5, you don't like it, I like it. The conversation between Peter and Aunt May when she says, "You're my boy," the emotion in that scene, what it means, and then at the end when he's learning about his parents and how I put it in a better place. I kind of connect all of those, but her emotion about how much she loves him and how she's been trying to protect him in that line is a great moment. Number 4 is another Gwen Peter moment. The whole "I love you" on the bridge, and when he takes her up there and he says, I'll follow you. I'll follow you anywhere you go. I'll follow you to London. I keep trying to find my path. No, you are my path. That line with the "I love you," it's just, it craps on other movies and love stories. I love it so much. Number 3 is the fight in Times Square, specifically the backflip where he catches the car, saves the 2 people, lands in a superhero pose. Thank you for letting Spider-Man be awesome. That's sick. Love it. The visual effects of it was awesome. The suit, the Spidey sense, the landing. And there's other moments in that scene that are great, but that specifically. Number 2, I have him fighting the Rhino at the end. It's a cold... Coming back, where he says to the kid, like, thanks for... and that's the kid that he helped with the windmill.
Yep.
because it's a good movie. He says, thank you. On behalf of all rhinos everywhere, I'm going to ask you to put your mechanized paws in the air. Spider-Man quippiness. Good to be back. Throws the thing. New York's cheering for him. He grabs the manhole cover. He's blocking freaking missiles. The music's swelling. Heck yeah! TASM 2, baby! Woo! Sorry. All right, that's number 2. Number 1, yeah, it has to be, even though it's sad, potentially the best handled death in a superhero movie, in my opinion, is Gwen's death. How it leads up, their relationship beforehand, the fact that this is what he was scared of, the acting in the scene, the slow-mo visual effects, everything about it, that being so brutal and emotional, everything they did with that was perfect. So that's my number 1. Great movie.
Nice. I'm happy for you.
Yep.
Couple I disagreed with on there. You didn't have the planes.
Their death? Oh, the plane's missing.
I like that scene.
So you agree with me. There's even more great moments. You're correct. It was hard to narrow it down. All right, what's your last one?
I have characters from superhero projects from this year based on how much I'd like to have them as a roommate.
Okay.
Okay. At number 10, I've got Echo, okay? She's strong. She's going to be a good bodyguard. She's going to be good protection. And she's deaf. So I'm not going to have to worry about any loud music. I don't really have to talk to her. Learning sign language is going to be a pain in the ass, though. And the alarms for deaf people is going to be a pain in the ass if anything bad happens. So that's why she's only at number 10. At number 9, I have Sydney Sweeney's character in Madam Web. Self-explanatory. And number 8, I've got Victor from The Penguin. Besides the stutter...
Oh.
Besides the stutter, otherwise, he's going to be great. He's going to be there for me.
You have been mean to women, deaf people, and people with stutters.
And I'm going to continue. He's great. I like him a lot. He's a homie. He's there for his friends. I'm not going to have to worry about it, and I'm not going to kill him. Number 7, I've got Spider-Verse Miles Morales. Oh, Alex, Across the Spider-Verse came out last year. You said this is from superhero projects from this year. Guess what came out this year, 8 months ago? The Spider Within, the 7-minute short film about Miles Morales dealing with anxiety. I fucking love him. So I'm taking him because he is the same character from the Spider-Verse movies. He's at number 7. Just the only issue is he's going to be young. He's going to be a tad annoying. I'm going to have to worry about him drawing me. I
Drawing you?
Yeah, he draws all of his friends, you know?
Yeah, but that'd be cool.
Maybe. Anyway, yeah, I rock with him, though. He's number 7. Number 6, I've got X-23 from Deadpool and Wolverine. First of all, it's Daphne Keane. Second of all, she can help me work on my Spanish. Third of all, she's a badass with claws and a healing factor. So, that's the ultimate prediction. She's just like the better version of Echo for me. Number 5, I've got Mark Grayson from Invincible. He's the man. I love him so much. I think he'd be a great roommate. He'd be a great friend. I think I'd like spending time with him. The only reason he's so low is because he's just going to get me killed, probably.
A Viltrumite's definitely showing up.
Exactly, right? That's kind of a problem.
Blow
so
it
that's
up
why
your
he's
house.
only at 5. If I didn't have that risk, he'd be much higher. And number 4, I've got Madeline Pryor from X-Men 97, specifically Goblin Queen. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Number 3, I've got Miles Morales from the Insomniac universe. He is there. He is riding for his fucking friends and family every single time in those games. He saves Peter from the symbiote. He's the fucking man. Love Miles Morales from the Insomniac universe. Definitely getting him as a roommate. Next, I've got Isabella Merced's character from Madam Web. I think that's self-explanatory. And at number 1, I've got Adam Eve for the application of her powers and also self-explanatory. Yeah, there you go.
It's a good list.
Thank you.
Adam Eve definitely deserves number 1.
I got money, food, whatever
You don't
I
care.
need.
Peter from the Insomniac games, he's just as...
I have to worry because it's specifically from these projects, right? I got to worry about him having the symbiote. I'm going to be like, dude, you got to get that off you.
But he's such a good guy.
Destroy us. I'm worried about that.
And MJ is his roommate in that one, and she gets symbioted
Yeah,
too.
she gets symbioted, and
But
fucking
Miles-
Harry dies.
Miles' dad dies.
I'm not his dad.
All right, my last top 10 list, and then we're done.
Yes.
Thank you, roommates. Thank you, patrons, for this suggestion.
Oh, no.
We are doing top 10 things I'd like to put in your chole.
Oh, gross, Andrew.
All right, so this is top 10 things that are going to go in your chest hole. You ready?
Okay.
At number 10, I want to build a little nest in there. I want to see if I can like raise a little bird. Okay, so I want to put like twigs and like some cotton or something and see if like a little creature will come in there and like hang out. Okay?
Okay.
Just like snuggle in there.
All
Okay. Number 9, I'm putting my barbecue honey chicken because you insulted it yesterday and I was really proud of it. And I talked about how excited I was that I meal prepped and then you just said gross. All right, well, it's gross. It's going to be in your chest.
Even grosser now.
At number 8, I'm doing, because you like this, we're doing an Oreo milkshake, but I'm going to make sure not to do one from Cheesecake Factory because frick you. So we're going Chick-fil-A or Shake Shack or something like that.
This is gross, Andrew.
Going in your chest.
I'm just letting you know, my chole is the hairiest part of my body.
We can shave it. At number 7, I want to plant something. Let's put some dirt in there with some water and just keep you horizontal the whole time and see if we can get like a little, maybe something for my cooking, maybe a cilantro plant, oregano, something. I don't know. At number 6, let's just try to put an arc reactor in there. That'd be kind of
Nice, cool.
We got plenty of room to put electronics in
Cool,
there and
yeah.
kind of secure it in. Number 5, this is just a kind of a quantity thing. I want to do mini M&Ms. I want to see how many we can get in there. Not normal M&Ms, mini M&Ms specifically, because I feel like we could do a couple tubes.
Fair.
Number 4,
A couple tubes is crazy.
at number 4, we're doing hot chocolate. We'll make sure it's not too hot, not to burn you, but it's going to be warm, and specifically with mini marshmallows on there.
This is disgusting. There's too much food you're putting in here.
At number 3, we're doing, have you seen those videos where on TikTok where it's like a split screen and they got oddly satisfying stuff on the right, and there's like a hole in like a table or something, and they fill it with ramen and then put like drywall repair putty on it and then like waterproof it and paint it so it looks like the table doesn't have a hole in it?
No.
Okay, well, I'm doing that to your chest.
Nice.
Yeah,
So it's
we're-
going to be like a thing there.
We're just ramen and then pack that in there and then some drywall stuff and sand it down, paint it, and then it'll be,
flat.
yeah, flat. Last 2. Number 2 might be not big enough. Maybe we do mini versions of this, but it's a perfect Beyblade arena. So I want to run a little tournament of Beyblades up in the chest hole. You know, maybe we do smaller ones, but seeing them bounce around in there would be really fun. And at number 1, because it's such a thing for you, and we'll have to leave it in there for at least an hour, let's get some soggy cereal.
Nice. Thank you. That was gross.
That was pretty good.
All right, well, that is our 100th episode. Well over 100 minutes, so you're welcome
Yeah.
for that. We love you a lot. Thank you so much for getting us to 100.
Check out the Patreon.
And Merry Christmas to all of you
Merry
guys.
Christmas.
You're right,
And
this is a good Christmas gift from us to you guys. 100 patrons. We're giving away 100 patrons. We're still doing discounts on the Patreon. You can get the gift of Patreon for everybody else. And we've got some giveaways, other giveaways coming soon as well, maybe pertaining to some other jackets.
here's to the next year,
Here is to the next year.
2025.
We love you.